And we are live. Hello, guys.
Hey. Was there meant to be no sound?
Hello.
Was it meant to be what?
Hello.
No sound.
This sound my end?
It was saying my end. It was like
What,
a
on that
heartbeat
video?
going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get any sound.
Oh, I thought you were messing around.
No, I didn't get any sound at all. It was silent on my side.
Whatever. Good evening, guys. How is everyone in chat? Let's have a look. Who we got out there? We got Jackie, we got Amy, we have Mark and Victoria, we have Greg. I think I saw Greg up there earlier, and Erin. How is everyone?
Hi, everybody in chat.
How is everyone?
Hello, everyone.
How is everyone on screen?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Okay. Good. So
I'm all right. I've just stuffed a pizza, so I'm all good.
Stuffed it with what?
Well, I stuffed it into myself. But it did have a stuffed crust.
Nice. Hey, Andy. Right, just to let everyone know. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Ling. We've got basically. Hey, Dads as well. How you doing? I haven't spoke to you for a while.
Ling.
Tonight we're just going to have a bit of a chat about
Charlie.
various topics, various things, husbandry, that sort of stuff, ventilation, light, whatever comes. You probably did, Jackie. Yeah, you probably did.
Hi, Jackie.
Hey, Jackie.
So, Mark, what you been up to?
I unpacked me spiders today. What I've had.
Right, okay. These are the crabs, yeah?
Yeah, but I thought I was getting 7. I got 10 of them.
Oh,
But I
nice.
had some nice little gifts in with them as well. So that was a really nice surprise and absolutely over the moon with them.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and I've got a spider coming tomorrow. And so I've got a pumpkin patch coming tomorrow off Victoria Louise Cox.
Okay.
So if she's watching,
Hey,
thank you to Victoria and thank you to Emma.
Nice. What about you, Jay? What have you been up to? Anything good?
It's all just work at the moment. Nothing too interesting. I've just arranged to sell my P Metallica juvie female.
All right.
So I'll be packing that up on Friday to take to Coventry.
Is that to make space or?
It's a little bit because I need the money, and a little bit because I kind of want to focus on Samapeus.
Right, okay.
As a genus, I'd rather get all of those and start breeding those before I look into breeding pokies, and then I can always come back to that at another point.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Salmon Pierce are lovely. I mean, I
I'm
find
going to mute my mic because I'm making noise.
I've got 2 Reduncus. I've got a Poulture. Obviously, the Canberra guy slings from the pairing that Leah and I did, and not personally, but the spiders. And I've got the Emernias as well that I got from M&T, and yeah, I do like them. I know Luke I think end of last year, he had some of the other lesser seen ones. Can't even think. I know one of them begins with an E, but he had a couple of those. Something like that. And then there was the one beginning with L as well, I believe. I can't remember the name of that one.
Language.
That's the one.
Yeah,
But,
I've got one of those.
And I was gutted because I didn't pull the trigger on them, thinking, I'll get them another time. And I've not seen them since.
I think Luke's got some females of those. I'm breeding from.
Very nice.
When I got my Language,
Hi, Mandy.
it was sent to me as a gift from someone. I had never even heard of the Samapeus Language at the time.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh wow, that really nice looking Samapeus.
Oh yeah, I've got the Victory as well. I forgot about that. I have got a Victory still. I got that off Luke because he had a few and he saved one for me at Capital Show.
Hi, Mel and Terry.
Gracious for Esmeralda and Language are the 2 rarest Samapeus.
Yeah, they are. They're very, very difficult to come by, but they are also beautiful. I think Isn't the? I think the Langenbacheri is the largest one as well, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't looked into that bit.
If I'm right, that's the one that goes quite bronzy looking, I think.
It's kind of bronzy looking, yeah. Kind of reddish bronzy.
Yeah, I believe that one grows to quite some size if you get a female. Anyway, what about you, Phil? What have you been up to? Apart from all your unboxings of billions of things.
Yeah, a couple of unboxings yesterday, which will come out later on. One of them was epic. So absolutely epic. But otherwise, yeah, since Monday work, getting all the Halloween decorations down into the building that I'm doing the Halloween bug display at work.
Nice.
To get that all mostly set up during this week, ready for next Tuesday when I then start the display stuff. Refresh a couple of enclosures at work today with some new plants and stuff.
Nice.
And we tested out our student volunteers today with an escape drill. So what they would do in the event of not a non-lethal animal escaping, and keepers not being anywhere able to help, kind of thing. So to see what they would do.
Interesting.
Hi, Tarantula. Do
well.
Hi, Chris.
That's part of the learning curve. There's all like, because some don't. You've always got to. They need to learn that they've got to treat it as if it was real, even if they figure out.
Yeah.
Hi, Ben.
But that eventually, if they go into the industry, they may have to deal with that.
I presume if the tiger got out, pushing someone else in front of you is not the
that's not an option. No, and that sort of drill they don't get involved with because that's even as a drill, that's not part of their kind of thing. They just get themselves safe, and we get them safe. But a non-lethal animal, then that is part of their remit, is to help get them back, sort of thing. As all part of be prepared so that hopefully never happens. But
how many volunteers do you have working at your place?
It varies. I mean, and depends on the volunteer. So you got the long-term placements, which are normally uni students, normally in their gap year, and they're with us for either 6 months to a year, and we've literally trained them essentially to be cover keepers.
Are you KT?
If we deem them good enough, we will sign them off.
Hey, KE. Hey, Ben.
Right.
Sort of
hey, Amy.
On the books to be able to cover us on days and stuff and run sections.
Yeah.
So they get paid experience, and then as well if we deem them
Hi,
good
Mouse. Hi, Dubby.
but then we will have day volunteers that come in 1, 2, 3 times a week or whatever, and they're just a day volunteer sort of thing. And that can be various from college students, uni students, to retired people, to people that just fancy doing stuff outside of their own job sort of thing. And sometimes you get 4-week block placements where they're in 5 days a week for 4 weeks.
Right.
Again, then normally college students doing that. And we'll even have, some people that are just day volunteers that are part of the sort of special needs program.
Right. Okay.
As well, sort of thing, that they come just to do stuff. And
is that for the animal interaction side of things? Is it with them?
No. I mean, they do basically the same sort of stuff. It's more a case of them getting out and doing stuff and stuff, and depending on their abilities, kind of thing. Often they're doing the same sort of jobs because that's what they need.
Yep.
That sort of structure and that sort of some of them need more predictable work.
Yep.
Depending on their needs, sort of thing. Some of them like more challenging stuff.
Oh, cool. And what about you, Leah? What are you been up to?
Sorry, I had it muted. I don't want to talk over anybody. I was just showing everybody that they were asking what I was eating. It's I don't know what they're called. One of these sweeties. I think Ali said they were called pencils.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah,
Angela gave me one. I can't really eat them. Like, I can have a couple of bites out of them and have to wait a bit because yeah.
So, Leah,
Sorry.
has Terry finished with the building of his latest Viv?
Well, it's not finished, but it's livable for the snake for now. So, it's going to be like well decorated and stuff, but it's going to be decorated for the Tegu, not for the snake, because snakes have one almost identically built.
Right. Okay.
But it's going to be maybe another foot longer.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. We've got to try and measure the space. But I can't measure the space until these ones are in because I need to move other stuff to get that in.
And the retic setup is going on top of the one that's there in that place, yeah?
Yeah. We're like half in and half in. It'll be the retic, which is just Jessie Roo, the smaller retic. Or it's going to be the boas. And then Jessie Roo will have the boa enclosure. So we're just trying to decide which way it'll be better.
Right.
But yeah.
It looked pretty good from the pictures he showed us, that's for sure.
It is. It's really sturdy. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. He was saying that...
Have you locked him in there yet?
No, he hasn't got in there. The snake's in shed, so he won't open the door because the snake's sat there going every 5 seconds.
Inside it.
He's not a very happy snake right now.
He was saying that he's got like some of the stuff he wants to put in there because what's in there at the moment?
Bim.
Yeah, right, okay. He was talking about something where he's going to put the lighting up. He was telling me about the ideas where he wants to put the lighting up, and he was saying, but he's got to get some decent guards and stuff because it will just get ripped out.
Yeah, the table will literally rip out stuff.
Yeah.
So it has to be well. Like we're thinking maybe like some sort of solid basket over top.
How big's Jessie?
Jessie is 10, 11 foot-ish. We haven't measured him for a while. But he's not that big. Not compared to the others. So he's yeah. He's gonna be well happy with the enclosure.
One thing you could do, I don't know how is something we've done at work for our couple wife, and in terms of separating it from the lights, we've just got a whole big sheet of really strong steel mesh, and we can just remove the whole thing if we need to, and it just slides across.
Oh right, okay. That sounds like
it just cuts off the whole top. But it's kind of neat. I mean, I can access it also on top of it and stuff.
Well, that would actually be all right because the Tegu doesn't need that much height. So it won't actually hurt if we lose the top. Because what I could do is if we put some runners on the one side, because the way that it's built, we actually could separate off the one side just for the lighting.
Yeah.
So we could literally just put some runners and do that with a big sheet of mesh or something and stick that through.
Yeah, that's what. I mean, we had it. It was kind of lucky we had the mesh. Say, it's quite big square meshes like that, big squares in it.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not a bit smaller because the can't get through it. But we had it lying around from an old enclosure, so it was quite lucky that we didn't actually have to buy it. But it's really
I could probably get something like that. I'm just thinking.
It's galvanized.
I know I'm
hairy, but we got an old rabbit cage, and Terry literally bent the metal into a square.
Yeah.
And put that over top of it. It doesn't look the prettiest, but it stops the snake getting into it, but the snake still gets to eat.
Yeah, it just needs to be functional at the end of the day.
Exactly. Keeps him safe. But did he tell you that the big retic tried to get him the other day?
No.
He told me about when he came out, and then when he went back in there, it was just literally as he opened the door, it sat there with its face at head height, poised, waiting for him to emerge. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to leave that for another day.
Yeah, he just shut the door. He was like, nah.
Yeah, I would as well.
That's the thing, though, with big retics. That you've got to just you've got to read their body language. Once we get the glass in the doors, it'll be much easier. But at the minute, without the glass, it's a bit of a pain in the bum because you can't see what you're walking.
That goes for all animals, really, though, doesn't it? It's like every animal can have a day where they're a bit peed off, and even with spiders or moving spiders, handling spiders, whatever you're going to do with them, some days they might be as calm as anything, but you have to check what their body language is like before. It's not just because something's okay one day, they're going to be okay the next day. Do you get quite a lot of moody animals at the zoo, Phil? Like time to time, go through temperament
can do,
change
yeah.
and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, every day is different with them and stuff. You know, get
How
days
do you-
where you know
Plushies and Kinder Eggs.
even ones that are even ones that are always fairly moody are sometimes not moody, and the opposite as well. Sort of
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Just like
You can
people.
Yeah, literally, like I can. Sometimes most days Rosie comes down to me and say good morning, this and the other. Sometimes I'll go in there and she won't fly down to me.
It craps on you from a great height.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you walk past and you just see this buddy, like I'm gonna say, you narrowly missed.
Exactly. Is that your dog there, Jay?
Yeah, she's a pain in the neck. If I'm trying to do anything, she has. You might have seen her in the corner down there, just staring at me, watching the
Oh my
screen.
god, she's cute.
Let's
So
bring
she's
up our
currently-
picture.
Here.
Oh,
There you go. Let's have a nose at the dog.
Look, that-
oh, she's lush.
She'll quite happily stay like this for hours.
It's funny, we've got we've got one that literally will not, like the other two, the big two will lie on you like that all day long. But the little Jack Russell, nah. As soon as you tip him upside down, that's it. He gets the ump. He gets the ump.
Nothing puts her off. She'll lay down by my bum when I'm in bed and I can fart as much as I like and she won't move. There is nothing that will deter this dog from being somewhere near me.
Nice.
So is M Mouse, is that Millie? I think that's Millie. I want to know how Katie got plushies in her Kinder Egg. Sorry, it's really bugging me now.
But you
What's
can get
happened?
plushies and Kinder Eggs.
Apparently so.
What kind
What's
of
happened?
plushies?
Big ones, the big Kinder Eggs, isn't it? It's the big ones.
Yeah, but what kind of plushies are you getting it?
I don't know.
If it's
Yeah,
animal
it
plushies,
is Millie. Hi, Millie.
down.
So what's happened here this week
Especially if it's ice cold plushies.
on
I want ice pop plushie.
on
There's
Monday?
not really plushies them that felt working
Monday.
from
I'll make my next one.
Is that the sewn? Is that the knitted one?
Hi, Jim.
the felt working stuff.
Oh,
Hi,
right, yeah.
Jim.
My mum bought it from Yaz for me.
Hey, Jim.
Motley Exotics.
Oh. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Yaz is lovely.
Yeah.
I do like Yaz.
So on Monday, when my apophysis was molting,
Oh yeah.
I presumed it was male after the last molt.
No.
But
Have you seen spermavector in?
Well, it's weird. It has got a tiny bit of flappage. They're a strange one anyway, the Theraphos. They don't tend to have like a big bunny ears, do they? They have just a shape.
So, yeah.
So,
but if there's a flap,
Sorry, flappage.
it's a technical term. If there's a flap, it's a female.
Yeah, I am convinced.
Flappage.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'm
we've
convinced.
got that on official zoo documents as well.
Well, this is what Jay saw it. Jay commented. Jay said, like, I've never seen that much flappage on a bloke. So, it's a word. It's a word. But yeah, it was. Just try and find the video.
Trust Jeremy to turn up when we're talking about flappage.
Hello.
Hi, Jeremy.
Apologies for being late. College was not college. Uni was a nightmare today, and I got home at like 7:30. Realised I needed to go shopping, and rushed home, and here I am.
So, hook lungs on the very edge, and it's dry there, but that. There is on this side more than the other, but it does move. So I'll send you the picture because you can have a proper close look at it then. But yeah, I'm suspecting female on that a little bit. And then what else did we have done? We had, after that one molted, I had a Davos molt.
Gonna fight you, Steve.
The Davos unfortunately decided to get two of its legs sort of half bent up as it was coming out of the malt. So now it's got 2 feet that are facing around the wrong way. At the bottom of its legs, it's walking around fine. It's just its feet are upside down. And then one of Osman's BCFs malted. And then this afternoon, his GBB malted. And his Akaya has malted as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so we've had a few. But yeah, the GBB, I haven't sexed it yet. I've put it in the soapy water and left it, but I'm going to. He bought it or he got it as a female, so I'm hoping it is for him. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Hey.
How are you?
I mean, let's see if we can race, Mark. We're getting up there the night before you, so we'll already win.
No, you don't want to, Kate. Amy, it's not nice, but it's walking around okay, so should molt out. Then
there was a BTS was there the night before, and on my way to the BTS, I ended up with Steve following me. That's like Steve's car. It was.
Yeah, you can't mistake his car, can you? That's for sure. Bit like mine, but very, very easily recognisable. So, Jeremy, what have you been up to then, dude? What's new with Jeremy apart from college?
Sorry, dude. Just eating at the moment. Yeah, nothing much really. I've had some projects with the Carolinensis, so I've separated those all out now. Probably about 150 babies, probably more, with the one that stayed with the female. The other one, only 20, but captive bred. So numbers are numbers at the end of the day. And then today I've got a shipment of Lycosa hispanicas that all doing absolutely fantastic. So that's going to be an interesting project. Get some of those raised up here. And then what else have I got? I've not done much breeding recently, to be fair. I've done all my pairings, and now the males have dwindled off and just left with all the babies to work with.
Nice.
You looking forward to Coventry, Jez?
Oh, yes. Coming up the night before is going to be chaotic, but hilarious.
Have you got your high heel
I read there's some strange things in that Coventry group chat thing. I'm not even looking at it anymore with you lot.
I want to know.
You're the worst, Barry. I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah,
I want to know.
You're the one who's been sat there watching Finger Mouse all day.
This is a question directed directly to Jeremy, but
Okay.
After his experience with Bristol, has he packed his stilettos?
They weren't mine.
Oh, Matt, I've just got one thing to say to that. When Jeremy's drunk, he turns into his dad, right? When Jeremy's drunk, he turns into his dad. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the Filipino genes really come out when I'm drinking.
Yeah, we're so getting you drunk. It won't take a lot. 2 cans of shandy back and you're gone.
Jeremy drunk.
Not even 2 cans of shandy. Half a pint got me feeling woozy.
I don't know. The fact is that he tried to walk in Leah's high heels, or the fact that he did it whilst smiling about it.
I'm a very jolly person when I drink.
I've said it before. Most men can show women how to walk in high heels.
Yeah, I don't think I'm wearing them this time. You won't be able to wear them this time. Sorry. Jess.
Yeah, your male, Jay. He has not wasted any time in setting up shop, has he?
He's done quite well, actually.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when we're talking about molting, I was so sure that little bugger was a female until its last molt, and I went to rehouse it, and then I saw his little bloody dick fingers. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, sorry.
It was a good video, though.
Well, yeah.
A lovely setup, and then all of a sudden, it's like a few days later, it's like, Matt. But no, she's. I'm waiting for my bigger female out of the 2 to molt, because I've had a look at the dates. Looking at the spread between molts, I would have thought she would have molted in sort of March, April time, which is why I wasn't sure whether that pairing was going to work. And she still hasn't molted. So after laying that egg sac, and she molted October last year. So hopefully she's she's now refusing food. So hopefully she's going to molt very, very soon. She's looking plump and dark. And the other one is now showing a bit more interest with the males next to her. So hopefully we can have something going on there.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, but she's looking pretty good. And also some good news on Purians as well. I had a look round, put the cricket tub today, and videoed all underneath the fangs and everything. Can't see anything. Still got the bit of sphagnum moss stuck to the side of her jaw. But couldn't see anything. The only thing that I was sort of like not 100% sure of, and it's not going to come up very clearly when I do this on here. Let me just turn this photo around the other way. Right, done. Let's get this up on screen. I was worried. I was concerned about these markings on the feet, because I was like, "Oh, they're glistening," but that actually turns out that's the actual tarantula's structure underneath. That's actually my reflection, where there's basically nothing, and it's just the markings on the actual spider. But it had me a little bit concerned earlier, but they look okay. So hopefully she's all right. Hopefully.
Nice to be able to
Yeah,
get.
I mean, she's gone through that molt, which is one of the most stressful cycles of a tarantula.
Yeah.
So if she's gone for a molt, done fine, then
she did refuse food today, but she only refused food because I was messing around with her with a cricket tub, I think. But after speaking to Phil on Monday, I've put a water bowl in there today just so that I can sort of see if she has a drink, and I'm going to take it out again tonight. But I think she's going to be okay. The prognosis is good. I'm not, if the weather drops much more like it did the last couple of days, she won't be staying over in quarantine for much longer, because I've cleared a spot at the end of this room at the far underneath the window, and she'll stay in the butterfly net, but she'll actually be in this room because there's no way I'm heating 2 rooms. Not a chance. Too much.
Yeah, the temperature really has dropped the last few days as well, hasn't it? It's getting really cold.
Yeah, it did.
Monday was terrible, freezing.
It was absolutely freezing cold in here, and then yesterday I was like, wow, the temperature's gone back up again. It's roasting in this house. No. Kath had turned the heating on and left the boiler on, and it was just like pumping out through all the radiators, and it was like a sauna in here.
It's if it gets much colder, I'm gonna throw my turtles in.
Is that
As
code?
soon as it gets below 5, they come in.
All right, it's not code. Okay.
No, my actual turtles.
Get your turtles out.
I've got 5 of them.
Nice. So, what's the plan with your Salma Pierce, Jay? What is it you want? What is it you want to do?
So, ultimately, I want to try and get all that are available in the hobby.
Nice.
I have an adult female Cambridgey, so I do want to get a male and pair her at some point. My Minia that turned out male that went to Chris, I've got some slings back from that, so I'm going to be growing them on.
Nice.
And that's just kind of at the moment I'm really limited by space, so I have to kind of work out if I'm going to breed something, I'll concentrate on something. Hence, sort of the pokey going really. But 2 pokies are going. I just rather concentrate on one thing. And as much as I like pokies, and my second ever T actually was my P Regalis, and I won't ever get rid of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to concentrate on Samapeas for the moment.
They're nice spiders, and to be fair, they're not. I mean, everyone says they're like an introduction to Old Blood. I think half of them are pretty chilled out, really.
Yeah.
Obviously, it changes spider to spider, doesn't it? But like both my Reduncuses have appeared on videos, and I've high-fived them and all sorts. They just like sit by the door. They're very strange. But the Emernias are a little bit flighty, but rehousing them was okay. And they take up less. I mean, the arboreals, the good thing with the arboreals is you can have a lot of enclosures per floor space.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can keep the slings with mum and let the mum hatch out the sack, and she'll take care of those babies for a good while.
Yeah, that's a point as well. Yeah, you haven't got to stress out about like nursery pots and things like that if you don't want to.
And then, like you were saying, that the Psamopius genus is typically considered an introductory to old worlds. It's interesting because they do have that potential speed, and then they don't have the urticating hairs. So, if I'm right in saying that,
Yeah,
they don't have the urticating hairs. So it is a good genus to get into if you are looking into those old worlds, like getting your OBTs and HMAX and stuff like that, to work with their speed, sling, juvie, grow them up a bit and see if you're confident enough to go with the old worlds, if that's something that bothers you.
It's the urticating hairs lack of probably does appeal to an awful lot of people. I think as far as the speed thing goes, I think yes, they have the potential for speed, but normally that's just from my experience is just with rehousing. Like once they web up and they set up shop in their enclosure, you can have the door open and do all sorts of stuff with it, and they'll just sit there because they feel secure. And I think that goes for most spiders. I think they're a little bit, they can be flighty if disturbed. Like, you don't want to go spraying a mister straight on their faces or anything. But I think that's
the same with almost anyone. Anything as well. Like,
exactly.
most sure you go and spray it directly on top of it, chances are it's gonna run.
Yeah, no one likes getting sprayed in the face.
No.
Speak for yourself. Sorry.
I knew.
You kind of
No,
walked into
I think with regards to salmon pits, it's like as long as you are, where they're, you can almost predict roughly where they're going to go and what they're going to do. You get round behind their back legs and give them a touch with a bit of grass. They're going to fly forwards. So it's not like with, say for example, like OBT. I find that if they may run, but they also may just turn around, slap, stand their ground, and do that. It's a bit changeable. So I think the Psamopius are still quite a predictable spider. If that's going to be,
I mean, I've got
a way to look at
I've got a few Psamopius. I've got Reduncus, Pulcher, Cambridgey, and the 2 Emilia now. And I'd say, I mean, if they're bigger and if you're rehousing and they're behind cork or something like that, from my experience, they just tend to freeze on the cork, and you can just pick the cork up and actually put it into the next enclosure. And I've never had a boat like that.
I've got an erratum like that. That today was funny. But that's not the first one. That's not the first one I've had to do that with. I've had a couple of spiders that literally move the bark into the new setup, and that's done. I think you're right. I think if they're on the bark, they're going to go one way. If you move the bark, one thing Dave was saying that sort of stuck with me a while ago at one of the shows was, if you do take the bark, you keep the bark at the angle you take it out at. It's when you start moving it around and doing stuff, that's when it will disturb it. If you take the bark out at, say, 30 degrees and you keep it at that angle the whole way and then put it back in the new enclosure, far less chance that spider's going to move.
Yeah.
Especially if you're exposing it to light. If you turn that thing and that spider gets spooked by the sudden change from darkness to lightness, they're going to get freaked out. It's like in the wild. If a large predator was digging through a log and then they opened up the log and there was a spider sitting in there, they're going to make a run for it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about sort of setting. I think if you're rehousing.
Tell you're on mute.
Hello, Terry.
The problem is, right, well, what I'm going to say is, Jeremy, even if the spider's really small, it's not going to see you as a large predator.
I'm just not
Jerry's
going to make any more
just
points.
really
I'm
liking
not
the
going to
fact
make
that
any more
he's
points tonight. I'm just going to
slightly
sit here and
taller than
listen.
you.
Yeah, Jeremy getting picked on by Terry. There's something in it.
Right?
Especially with all the short stuff. There is one thing, though. He might be shorter
Just
than me,
wait
but he
till I
has
get
got...
the stilettos on again, then we'll see who's small.
He has
like your hair.
he has got much better hair than me though. Don't. I've got hair dye on. That's why I got
More
this
of
on.
it.
Have you?
Yeah.
More of it.
What colour?
Green.
You going green?
Luminous
Yeah,
green. Like 5 clicks on.
Here we go. So, interesting comment here from. Right. So, Dad's saying the horn baboon's flat out fast. Now, I don't know how everyone else feels about this, but when you're talking about spiders being fast, for me, I would always say that spiders are either fast or faster. I don't think there's really a slow spider, is there?
No.
I think they can all have a burst of speed at some point or another.
My Jeep Ultra, if you startle it at all, it's faster than you could ever believe it would be.
Yeah, so
It's
you
better
get
than I am,
fast and
so it's fine.
teleportation's fast, don't you?
I have one spider that is really not fast. It just doesn't do anything.
Is it pinned?
It's she.
Your one.
Is that the Albiceps? But the thing is, still got the potential to go for it.
Yeah, if she wants to. She doesn't though. I'm a bit worried about her, to be honest.
You need to watch the video I put out today for something that's slow.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll watch it later.
Charlie's just said he doesn't agree with that. If any baboon is quick, it's the Heterophyllae genus. They're mad quick.
Oh, yeah, Heterophyllae are rapid.
I'd say though, Charlie, I think that you get fast, and then you get faster, and then you get teleportation fast. I think that spiders should just be classed, and you should always be considering that no matter what you're looking at or what you're going near, they're going to be fast because they can all move.
Because it's like working with the trees. Once you start working with trees, you realize what speed really is.
Yeah,
especially with like the huntsman and stuff, where you blink and it's on
I'm
the other side
still
of your
here
bedroom.
listening, but I'm going to mute and turn my camera off because I'm eating my dinner.
Okay.
No worries. But yeah, it's like I deal with that kind of speed on a daily basis. When I went to rehouse the Sandairy female that I picked up from Luke, she did a runner on me, but I didn't get freaked out when she did a runner because it just seemed so slow. I just leaned over and just put a catch cup over her, and she just sat there.
But I think some people
she is still quick. It's like I can understand if Sandairy at that side bolted on me, and I was still keeping tarantulas and no shrews, I'd probably freak out over that. It's a pretty good speed.
The Ceratogyrus, I mean, the Marshallies. Oh, my Marshalli's very fast. My Darlingi's not as fast, and it's weird that I was going to sort of lead on to this. It's like she was very, very quick as a sling, and now she's almost like sub-adult. She's slowed down a fair bit, but she's still quick. My Sturmey is a big spider, still super fast, will be across a 45 tank in no time at all. You got just people, you just have to be wary of. I think everything's got the potential to move fast. But going back to the trues, Jeremy.
Yeah.
With the wolf spiders that I've got here at the moment, Osmond's ones.
Yeah.
They're quick to move around those vials. But what I do like about them is they move around the vial. They don't tend to move up the vial.
Yeah. Because like with the leucosids, their instinct is to dive down into their burrow.
Yeah.
And or squeeze themselves into a crevice in the gaps of rocks and stuff to hide away from predators. So, they're not thinking of going up, which is quite nice. So if
I think you were saying
that's why
to me,
I recommend them for beginners.
Their ability to climb plastic is also crap, isn't it?
Yeah. As they get older, they don't produce as much web. Like with the slings, they'll start climbing the plastic a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they join together, they live as a group, and their webbing combined allows them to maneuver up plastic and stuff. But as they get older, they don't web as much unless they're laying down pheromone webbing for breeding. So you don't necessarily have to worry about them being able to bolt out of a highish tub.
Yep.
If you're keeping them, which is quite nice.
Do you keep trues, Jay?
I've got Linophyllae, but I don't know if they're classed as true.
Miglomorph.
Oh, I recently got a huntsman off Jeremy.
Have you rehoused it?
I've rehoused it into something that it doesn't need to be in for about another 4 years, so I don't have to do it again.
That's cheating. That is just
I've
cheating.
honestly never seen a spider move so quick.
I don't blame him on that.
Lanula on another
Hi,
level.
Carl. But the
They
thing
don't
is,
have the common name Lightning Huntsman for a reason.
they're super fast, aren't they? They're super fast, but what's the chance? I mean, they're just fast, aren't they? That's their defense, effectively, isn't it? Their speed, the huntsman, and they just want to move. Would that be right?
Yeah, so like with the huntsman, their hunting tactic is to sit there, wait for something to walk by, and use that speed to grab the prey before it has a chance to get away. Because you got to think in the wild, these spiders have a small, I'll say air quotes, territory, because it's not really a territory. It's just like a nesting area where they live. So, you think of it like a medium-sized heteropoda, like David Bowie. You have it sitting on a leaf. It just sits there. And it won't move because it's relying on its camouflage because orange reflects as green in some animal's vision. So they'll just sit there. Some prey walks by, zip, grab it. Something spooks them, zip, they're out of there because they're not waiting around to find out what's going to try eat them. So, if you treat the spider right, so like when I say to people rehousing trews, they're on a piece of cork, like with your Samopius. This makes your life so much easier. All you got to do is just pick up that cork, slowly move it over, and just do not touch that spider because they're relying on their camouflage. Because yes, they're quick, but that speed comes at a cost of energy, which they may or may not get from another prey item in 2 weeks, 3 weeks' time in the wild. Of course, in captivity, we feed them a lot, but if they can avoid using speed, they will. They'll rely on their camouflage.
And I know I'm going to
why
get
they come in all those colours and patterns.
I'll get shot down here because there's always spiders that just go bolty forever. It seems like that when you're rehousing in a bath or whatever. But most spiders, the way their lungs are and their setup is the fact that they'll have their burst of speed and then they have to stop.
Yeah. Like physically have to.
So you're almost better off letting them have their little run, wait until they stop, then going to catch them.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just chasing, then you can actually make it worse by chasing.
Yep.
I mean, but if you then run, see where they stop, and then you catch them, then walk up over.
Yep.
Safe for the spider. It's better for you. It's less stress on both.
And it's funny though because like things like the Samopius, I've seen them, the Ceratodyrus and all that sort of stuff. They do move and then they'll stop, then they'll move, then they'll stop. But what is it about the Chilobrachys that it seems to just move? Moves and moves and moves. And they will go. They seem to go for a lot longer before they decide they're going to have a bit of a break for a breath.
The only Chilobrachys I've got is a Huahini, and she's never tried to run anywhere. She will just do the typical rock back and threat pose, and that's. I'm quite happy with that. I know where she is, and just plop a cup over.
Yeah.
her.
Threat pose is always better. See you later. Yeah,
Matt.
Yeah, go on.
Talking of fast spiders, I need your address to send this Escalciatum to you.
I'll see you at Phil's show.
Oh yeah. Okay then.
Or you can just keep it. Or you can just keep it and send it directly to whoever's unfortunate enough to win it. No, dude, I'll see you at Phil's show, mate. I'll see you at Phil's show.
All right.
Not a problem.
No problem.
That truly is a fast spider.
The Calciatum.
Mine is the only one that worries me for speed. Really.
Yeah. See, Mark dumped one on me in we'll go through the story. So Mark knew that I didn't want it, and it was almost like as much as he doesn't want centipedes, he knew that I was like, no, not ready for it, don't want it. And then I won, I think it was on a members giveaway, I won 7 slings, and they were all Chilobrachys, and then he dumped this one into the mix out of the blue. And I was like, honestly, I got home from Brighton and I was annoyed. I was like, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Now I've got the spider, I'm going to have to look after it. And the rehousing went okay. I did have a few issues where it was like, it was under the door, not in the door. So when I went to catch cup it, I caught a load of air and the spider was the other side of the door. I didn't realise. But then I put it into a sling vial, and then I wrap the sling vial in tissue paper, put the sling vial in with the cricket tub that I'd managed to get it into, and it went straight in there because it was dark. And then I moved that into the enclosure. But that it was about what sort of like under an inch big when I got it off your mark, maybe.
Yeah.
She's probably about 4 inches now. She's webbed up her enclosure like it's just web. The whole thing is just web. It's going to be a nightmare when she comes out of there. But I can now open the door and she'll sit there because she's got all that webbing and it's that security thing. Don't leave the door open for very long, and I would rather her disappear when I sort of disturb the front of the enclosure. So she goes into the cork bark or whatever. But I think when I say about taking the cork bark out, for this one's going to be a nightmare because cork bark out of there means you're going to disturb an awful lot of webbing.
Congratulations, Mel and Terry.
Yes, Greg. Show is on Saturday, the 4th of November.
Ooh, very nice. Congratulations.
Nice.
And also, congratulations on your pairings of Amelia and Species Blue. Very, very nice species to pair.
Cheers, Steve.
The Amelia, oh my word, favourite brachy.
Yeah, I'd go with you on that.
Yeah,
I like
just
Classy.
something different.
Classy's mine.
Well,
I like the Classy.
See, this is the thing though with the brackies, like they're all lovely. They are all gorgeous spiders. I think for me, the Amelia, it's just that carapace, that triangle on the carapace.
He is really nice.
But then again, when you look at an Albiceps and you look at that cream velvety like carapace versus the black velvet abdomen, it's just like that's special as well. It's hard.
A freshly malted Albiceps is really nice.
And for me, I've always been really partial to erratums.
Yep.
Yeah.
A freshly malted erratum with those bright red knees.
Yes, that's red.
Very nice.
Small bit of red on the knee is just like, yeah, that's really, really nice.
But then you get photos of a spider like a Bomo's just come out of a molt, and that orange, the fire, it just pops.
It looks saturated.
So they're all gorgeous. It's just they get a bit dull and boring when they're nearing pre-molt.
Yeah, we can all agree on that front.
It's always hard to choose, from those ones, like just exactly which one that you really like.
Yeah, that's why you have to have them all.
Yeah, I do want to collect all the brackies, and I'm still kicking myself for not buying that adult female Baumgartney from the spider shop at the London show.
With the Baumgartney, they were the ones that had a bit of controversy around them, weren't they?
Yeah, because they were mixed with, they believed they were mixed with Bomai in the 90s in Europe.
Yeah, it was a European, like, I'm not going to
I think, not 90s, early 2000s.
But I think it was around the German area. They were sort of saying there was a lot of them. There was money in them, wasn't there? There was money in the Baumgartinis. Yeah. So there was a lot of other ones sold as Baumgartinis, which were almost hybridized, weren't they?
Yeah, because Tom has one. Tom Moran has a Bomai Baumgartney hybrid.
Right, okay.
They raised from a sling. And they would say, I think, it was the early 2000s where rumors were going about them being hybridized.
Yeah. It's a shame because now whenever you look to get one, you're always going to be wondering, aren't you?
Yeah. Like with the pokies as well.
It's the same with a lot of Brachypelma.
Mm.
So that's why, like in my industry, like I don't know if it's still going, but there was a stud book for Metallica.
Okay.
For zoos. It was deemed that all the ones in the private hobby would be no good for conservation purposes. None of them were pure.
Yeah.
It's just not worth risking that private stock, isn't it?
Well, I have two OBTs that are UMV, but it's questionable as to whether the male was RCF or not. And the guy who I'm friends with sort of said, look, after he'd paired them and he was sort of put the video up and then people were commenting on the male, he started looking into it and he was like, I hold my hands up, I'm not 100% sure. But I've got two of the slings and under the proviso that I'm just basically not going to ever breed them. You know, they're just spiders. They look very UMV, but they're very close to the RCS. It's very difficult to sell. Yeah, exactly. So I won't be muddying waters by breeding them, but he was quite sort of like, I think, gutted at a certain point about it, because it was his first breeding project as well, and he thought he'd done everything 100%, and he still thinks he's, there's still doubt as to whether or not the male was a UMV or not, but
unless you get that male genetically tested.
Yeah, exactly. He thought,
and again, you're going to have multiple specimens to prove that a specific genome identifies them as UMV in comparison to just a normal red color form.
Yep. So it's like,
it depends on where this red color form has come from, because I can guarantee you red color form is not just in one specific area in South Africa.
No.
There are locales of red color form. And do we know about them yet? No. Will we eventually? No. Probably. Possibly not.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they'll always just be sold as red color form. So, you do get into that muddy water of thinking whether or not things are pure or not. When you see it all the time with the brackies, pokies, even Tillita cattle with the vegans. There's hobby form vegans.
Yep.
Albopilosum. That's why I quite like when I see sellers having not even just typical big box sellers like private sellers. I see them listing the brackies with CITES papers. So if it has that paperwork, it's pure Mexican import.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that as well, with the CITES papers, isn't it, as well? Because like there's obviously some larger sellers that are known for their brackies. And people always say, like, if you're at these shows, go to these people for brackies, because they're normally really good with their brachypelma. But you won't get papers through that person.
Yeah. There was only so a few years ago that it was Spider Shop that got the license to be able to bring over captive bred stock from Mexico.
With the school, it's a uni out there that's breeding them, isn't it?
There's a couple of places out there, and there's a really good program of where they're bred. A certain amount gets released to the wild, gets raised and then released to the wild. A certain amount goes, and then a certain amount they keep back, and a certain amount goes into the trade.
Yeah.
And then the money that they make from the sales goes into the conservation of them.
As it should be.
And then
really.
People will probably wonder why can't we just do this all the time? Well, from what I understand, getting that paperwork just to get them approved of coming exported from Mexico to the UK or anywhere is a grueling process. Like, I believe even Micro Wilderness in America, it took them one time a year, and they're just in America to get that paperwork done.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it took Spider Shop more than that. I think it took a good couple, if not more than, if not 3 or more years to get all the paperwork signed off and stuff. And it's not just tarantulas either. There's Central America is really good for that sort of stuff, because like Costa Rica, they have a lot of they have places that do the same thing with dart frogs.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And stuff where again they know they're pure species. All the founding stock's wild caught, but a certain amount goes back and gets released back to the wild. A certain amount they keep back for future breeding, and a certain amount goes into the trade into the States. And the money goes back into the habitats and stuff.
We read there was a thing.
Oh,
I know some people have seen it, but there was a lady in one of the groups, the invert groups, and she was talking about wanting to contact some of the sellers because she wanted to know what the process was. It was an interesting read as she sort of went through, because she wanted to import leeches, because she's had pets for years and years and years, like 10 years plus or whatever, and the bloodlines were just starting to really, really weaken. She could see the effects in her collection and things with bloodlines of these leeches, and she wanted to try and get new blood in, but she couldn't get any through people buying into this country. So she was looking at basically importing herself. And it was just really interesting looking at the responses and the thread on there about the amount of money and the amount of time and the hassle and the people she has to go to get the stuff from the country that's coming in with. It looks like an absolute headache.
Yeah. Because you got to remember, right, any wholesaler from these foreign countries, whether it's Asia, Africa, Europe even, You gotta find the people who are trustworthy. Find the people that you can actually rely on getting stock, because when it comes to the wild caught stuff, people will just go out and just grab whatever they want, list them as big black spiders or something like that. People will just order them in. No, I'm only saying this because this is what Ray told me. He got
Yeah.
on the
it happens
list,
all the time.
and Ray
I've seen
said
some lists.
there was a list, 70 tarantulas that were listed as big black spiders, and about 10 of them were tarantulas, and the rest of them were just random spiders. So it's these trustworthy connections that you need to slowly build up, and especially for someone that's not imported before, finding something as niche as leeches.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to find someone that knows what they're doing, knows how to pack. You know,
It's a difficult one, and
it's a hassle and a half for sure.
I've seen literally lists where it'll be like, it's a list of 300 tarantula-like spiders.
Yeah. Oh well, it used to do.
It'll be, 300 colubrid-like snakes, and it literally says "like." So it's like, well, that could be anything. That just
They don't know what they're even collecting.
Welcome back, Leah.
I know full well that, like Clayton, when he was sort of getting his South American orders in last year, he was saying that he would say, "Oh, we're going to ask for this, this, and this, and this," and then when it got delivered, he probably had a handful of what he'd asked for, and the rest were spider. It was like, I've now got to go through and if they're slings, how on earth do you go through and identify those if they're slings? Because most of them just look brown.
Yep. But again, they've sort of stopped trading. There've been a couple of shows this year, but they have sort of stopped trading really. But they used to import, and on one of their lists, literally, it just said whatever number, weird shit. They're like, what?
Wow.
What are you class as weird shit? They got sent to Gutagera.
Let's not ask Jay what he classes as weird.
Gutagera.
Okay?
Oh my god.
They had a giant Gutagera.
That's
They
hilarious.
were like,
I want one.
We'll take it to the shows and display it.
I
was
want
like-
one.
It was like that in like a Scolopendra size Gutagera.
Jesus, could you imagine that? Just a fake eyelash walking. Terrifying.
It was awesome to see. It was longer than most Tahani's.
That's
Bigger than most
terrifying.
Tahani's. It was like,
For all those that don't know what Scooter are, they're like the house centipedes you get in America. So they kind of look like a walking fake eyelash.
this was an Asian species.
Oh yeah. Could
That's
you
what most of
imagine?
the girls in Essex have on their faces. Then
Exactly. They import them from America and stick them on their faces.
cover themselves.
I
in
also got
Tango.
my first.
We need to call our SPCA to save the poor centipedes.
I just got my first centipede off Jeremy as well.
How is
Oh,
that
yes.
going?
It sits in a pot and I don't see it. It's quite boring. It's not as much fun as I thought it would be.
Well,
They
that's
do
if it's
hide a
in the
lot.
pot.
Yeah. Aaron threatened to move out when I got it. Aaron hates it.
You should have told me. You didn't tell me he was not into the peas. Otherwise, I would have told you not to get it.
He's a zookeeper. He needs to man the fuck up.
To be fair, it's only a little baby at the moment.
It is.
Jay, is
kind of cute.
Aaron's in the reptile section, is he, or is it the
No,
birds?
he
What does
he
deal
works.
with?
Well, he works with aquatics.
Oh, right, okay.
But we're at London Zoo, that whole section is what they call tiny giants.
Right, okay.
Because they've not got much in the way. Well, they've got a lot behind the scenes for aquariums and corals and stuff. But he does quite a bit with terrestrials, as they call it, which is all the bugs and spiders and all that
Right,
stuff.
okay.
But they have just merged reptiles with that department.
Right. Okay.
So whether he ends up doing a little bit over there, I don't know. At some point.
Right. How long's he been? How long's he been at London Zoo?
How long have you been at London Zoo?
See, how can you not know these things, Jay? I'm dropping in now.
A year and a half. There you go.
All right. Is he social media shy?
Yeah, he spends his life on like TikTok and stuff, but he doesn't use social media for any kind of anything.
Oh, fair enough.
Hi, Alan. Hi, Oz.
I've tried to persuade him to do a YouTube video with me before, and he won't do any videos. Or
Tell you what though, lives like things where you do interviews and stuff like that, lives. It's really interesting when you get actually people in the field. Like we're lucky to have Phil, who's on every live, but we've got it's very interesting to get. Well, I was saying to Connor the other day, he needs to get in with the people over at Bangor, so we can try and drag some of their very intelligent people onto some of the lives to just quiz their brains, because they've got some big reptile people over there. We're going to try and use Connor from one side and Phil from the other side and squeeze them until they come on the lives. That's
Why do we want intelligent people? Where would the fun be in that?
You mentioned intelligence, and Terry's head pops out the side of Leah's camera. It's brilliant.
Well, to be fair, right, out of all of us, I am the most intelligent.
That's
Apart from Mark at the top. Look, see, if you want to know anything about Greg Sausage Rolls or pasties, I am your man.
You want to know anything about biscuits? Come to me.
If you want to know anything about cakes, go to Caitlin. Hello, Caitlin. You all right?
Hey, Caitlin.
Caitlin is preparing, I believe, some cakes for Phil's show.
I was going to say she better be bringing some stuff, because that was
dairy-free for Steve. Even dairy-free.
Caitlin, could you make us some magic flapjacks or magic brownies so we could feed them to Jeremy just to see what would happen?
I think I don't think I'd exist on this planet anymore if that happened.
I'm not sure you do it first.
One, because it's not been done before. So.
I'm bringing flapjacks for the Airbnb.
Not those
I'm not going to eat them in case Terry spiked them. So
no, I'm making them. You'll be fine.
No, he won't. He'll be off his tits on the sugar.
Oh yeah, you'll be off your tits on sugar. Oh yeah. When I make flapjacks, they're like
90% sugar.
They're gonna knock you out with sugar. Yeah. They're good.
You know what I do miss? I know it's a bit off topic, but I do miss primary school flapjacks. Like those were so good.
Good night,
No.
They don't have magic.
So, Jay, with your collection moving towards Salmon Pierce, then, right at the moment, would you say most of your enclosures are glass, or have you got a lot of slings, or is it acrylic setup, or what have you got?
I've got mostly slings, to be honest, slings or juvies.
Right.
But I've got what I've got in here. I've got a P Regalis in a big exo. I've got the Metallica in an exo. I've got the Huahini in some weird glass thing that I bought off of eBay. And then I've got a shelf in my bedroom, which is all the 15 by 15 by 30 exos.
Yep.
And that's for sort of smaller arboreals. But then I've got things that are terrestrial at the moment. I've largely got them in the plastic faunariums.
Yeah.
But as and when we move and I get more space, I would like to move over to glass for them as well.
Yeah. One thing I was saying to someone the other day was we were talking about mould. I think it was on Scott's Premiere on Monday. And it's something I've noticed is I tend to get more of those mushroom spores on the edge of my plastic ones between the soil and the plastic than I do in any of my glass.
Yep. I'd agree with you on that.
And this sort of led us on to a bit more of a ventilation topic and like how glass and that can affect like glass versus plastic versus acrylic versus whatever, like for your setups and stuff. What do you think about that, Phil?
I mean, you can vent plastic as much as like you may still get those spores quite. I think plastic, if you look at it under the microscope, there's much deeper grooves and stuff, so there's much more surface area for the spores to cling on to as opposed to glass.
And do you think that also?
Because I've got like unvented glass enclosures that don't get spores.
Yep.
Sort of thing. And I've had the Fenarium style and had to get spores.
Yep. And also, I mean, I started doing with some of my plastic. I think, the erratum that I did today. I've even put there's holes a lot. You can't really see it in this light, but there's holes along the bottom as well. Now, water doesn't get out of it because the holes are too small, but that seems to help a little bit. But I think if you've got the higher humidity ones, I think the plastic, because of the deeper grooves, it does seem to be a case of the water and moisture does seem to sit on the edge of the plastic a lot more, and it seems to almost sweat, creating that humidity spike around the edge. But this is the thing, talking about ventilation, this is what I'm leading on to. So a lot of the glass will only have top ventilation, really. I mean, I know the Exos have the door with the front, and then you've got the mesh on top. But when you're talking about acrylic boxes, most of my acrylic boxes here have got probably 60 holes in them, and they're not tiny. But if the air's not moving in the room, is the air moving in the enclosures? That's what I was going to lead on to.
No.
Yeah.
Like I use a lot of custom aquaria enclosures, and the ones that I've entered, it's just a thin strip of mesh just on the back.
Yep.
And that's it. And literally, he's only put them there because people started asking for them to be vented. It's not actually from any recommendation or anything.
No.
He was recommended fully by the BTS to. I know Special Ray Gabriel still and Ray Hale, who organises the BTS show, he purely uses a custom carrier and specifically says do not vent it because they don't want vents.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. The custom aquaria ones, they've all got a glass lid anyway, so minimal venting on the top of that. I know they don't fit 100% tight, but they're as good as you can get.
They're not airtight.
But the ventilation on those is very minimal.
Yeah,
and the air won't move in those much either, because most of the time with Matthew's setups, the ventilation's at the back anyway. And where do most people put their enclosures? Against a wall.
Yeah.
That coffee one I've got, that's got no ventilation on it.
Yeah. Some of them still have that, but like you said, Matthew was sort of basically put under pressure by public perception to add the mesh.
Yeah, and it was a soundbite that you realise sometimes it doesn't actually agree with.
Well, and it's interesting because I mean, like, as far as big keepers go, like Luke has an awful lot of custom aquaria, and has said multiple times he wants to move everything into custom aquaria at some point. So it's an interesting point with regards to the ventilation side of things.
Well, see, Dave Fisher has commented before about with people talking about Avex and Black Caribbean Versicolor and the amount of ventilation they need, but will admit that he's quite happily raised slings in pots that have no ventilation whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think we've had a discussion on this before with the Avex and the Verses. It seems that it was almost like a learning curve from what I understand with my limited knowledge, but it was almost like a learning curve where people saw it and thought, okay, they need humidity because of where they live. So they made them almost into a swamp. And then they were like, but there's a lot of wind in the environment, so we need to put a lot of air holes in. And then all you ended up with was a stagnant, humid setup that had a lot of holes.
And that, on a separate but related note, is why when you say, when you do your research, you could just look at the habitat where these spiders come from. But then, like as you said, people know that Caribena versicolor come from damp forest, humid forest. So they're going to have that super sopping wet substrate and millions of air holes for just a breeding ground for bacteria. But then, if you look further into it, where they actually live is in treetops away from the ground. There's lots of wind, humidity rises up, so there is humidity, but air humidity, not substrate humidity.
No.
So, that's why, yes, you can look at the habitat, but you've got to look broader into it.
And how humid would you guesstimate the air at the top of a tree in Martinique and the Caribbean areas is? What would you, if you were going to just pull a number out of the sky? You're talking about on the top of a tree where you may have like 30, 40 mile an hour winds a lot of the time. What would you guesstimate?
Around 65 to 80.
So if we said 65, I said a number, Jeremy. You can't go with a range.
Well, it's a range, right?
So we're going to go 70%. That's what we're saying. We're saying roughly
70,
right?
72.
Well, okay. So and the average humidity in most parts of the UK a lot of the time is around 50 to 55%. So I'll say 52.5. So it's not really requiring that much more humidity to get that level. And up, it's up in the trees. Even if there's a lot of rain, those leaves will dry out very quickly just because of the heat of the islands they're in. It's an interesting one. It is definitely an interesting one. I think if you need, if you want to go full on cross ventilation on your setups, you have to have air movement in your room. So a fan gently blowing the air, circulating around the room, which means you probably going to need one and then
Or
another.
window open, or you moving around, or something moving around. So,
There has to be movement.
Hi, Victoria.
The cross ventilation thing is a bit of a soundbite, in my opinion. Sort of thing.
Because of the humidity, over humidifying.
And it's pretty through, mainly through people, oversaturating stuff, and then going, oh, now we need to do this, and so, to conversate that, like, well, don't oversaturate the spider.
So, do you think a lot of people, where they talk about the fragility of Avics and the fragility of Carabiner as slings, is just purely because of outdated care for those slings, possibly?
Very much so.
I'd say so. I've not found any Avics or Carabiners any more likely to die than any other species of genus of spider. And I think it is people it's people overcomplicating care requirements, especially with such a small spider.
It's interesting. I've been caring for. I mean, I had a Versi as a tiny sling from Seas last year, and I was like, "Oh my god, this thing's going to pass away on me." I was sort of helicoptering over the enclosure, and she's now got her adult colours, all that nice purples and the iridescence and stuff. She looks stunning. So she's grown on well. She's probably, I don't know, 3.5 inches maybe. But the substrate in that enclosure has always pretty much been, I'm going to upset some people here, but it's almost been bone dry. Almost bone dry. All I've had is a big water bowl at the bottom and then a smaller water bowl stuck right near the top of the cork. And that's all I've ever done. I've also got...
Yeah.
Do you need any moss? Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
Have you got any dry moss?
She only has wet moss.
It can be dry moss.
Yeah, I could do with some dry moss.
Can you keep your dirty talk to yourselves on private time?
I'm packing it now, so I want to check before I pack it all.
Nice, Steve. Take care, mate.
See you later.
Nice.
Take it easy, Steve. Dude.
And also I've got a Carabiner sling that I've been looking after since BTS, and that's in a vial that's bone dry. But all I do is I syringe in 2 or 3 drops onto the web every week, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because it gets fed, it eats its food, it eats the feeders. The feeders have had decent courgettes and nice carrots and things like that. It's got a lot of the nutrition and moisture in the feeders. Doesn't necessarily need to be flooded with water,
Yeah.
I was just going to say something, then I just realised what I was about to say, so I just didn't. Okay. I was about to say I squirt mine once a week. I meant spray, but it came out in my head squirt, and I was about to say it, and I was like, "No, don't say that."
And then that also leads to something like
water.
Yeah.
And I've had it like from a 1 centimetre sling, and it's now like semi-adult.
Yeah.
Still doing really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of people. It still goes round, and it's how drama perpetuates. And even though this isn't drama, it's information. It's just the fact that things perpetuate when people hear something like that. Oh, they're fragile. Are they really? And everyone seems to go, "Oh no, I don't want one of those because they're really fragile. They're really fragile." And then the next person comes along, and here's the fragile part, and then it carries on and on and on.
Because it's like with the topic of the wet substrate. It's like when it comes to, I'll say this in air quotes because I know it's not realistic, but in air quotes, bioactive and or naturalistic planted setup. If you're taking care more of the plants and keeping that substrate more damp and humid, and the spider is not enjoying it, then that's all you're caring more for the plant than the spider. Like some spiders just don't need to have these extravagant planted enclosures because it's not benefiting them, but it's benefiting the plants to look good. You know, you're keeping the spider for the spider, not for the enclosure. You want to go
Oh,
naturally
cheers,
planted, get some
Andy.
dart
Thanks,
frogs because they'll benefit from it.
Yeah, Charlie, I tend to agree. I think it is totally overthought, like you say on the next one. But this comment as well was like, I suppose it all depends on how quick the area dries. I mean, humidity will be up because obviously, just because the ground's dry, that moisture's got to go somewhere, and it will rise up into the air.
Yeah.
Obviously, forming new clouds for new rain. So it is an interesting point. But I think it's something that just needs a lot more investigation, really.
It's like with rainforest with the morning fogs. When people have foggers, not just for like spiders, but for like reptiles and stuff, like foggers in general. You have that thing blasting all day. That's just gonna steam that animal. You know, these fog clouds come in for minute amount of time, then disperse, leaving that humidity for the rest of the day.
Thanks, Andy.
Plus, there's a lot more airspace there as well, so it's not like a case of it's in a small area. It's coming out.
Yeah,
and that enclosure will create stagnation rather than humidity, healthy humidity.
Like, you know, with reptile, using foggers, the worst thing you can do is to have it where you see it all the time, especially where someone will open up and like an extra terror, and all this fog comes out.
Man,
You don't want that at all if you're using a fogger. The reptile is literally it blasts in and it's gone. Sort of thing. People use them completely wrong. There's a much better really is spraying.
Yeah.
It's misting.
It's
misting like before lights come on and after lights go off. Even desert animals.
Yep. Because deserts get water.
Like, you dig down in a desert, most of the sand, like not very deep down, is actually quite moist.
Yeah.
Isn't there always like in the desert as well in the morning? There's always like a dew over the desert.
Yeah, the higher points of like sand dunes.
When you go over there, and if you go out into the desert, like in the middle of the night, you're wearing puffer jackets and beanies and gloves in a lot of cases because it drops below zero. And anytime anything drops below zero, there's going to be moisture in the air, which is going to settle somewhere. You know,
I think someday we should do a research.
And again, fogging plants is all for our, for our pleasure.
Yeah,
whether it's beneficial to the animal at the end of the day, it's when you're keeping these animals, it looks nice for us, but it's the animal benefiting from that constant fog, from the overly damp substrate, because the plants need to be kept alive.
If you look at it like, if you want a tank that looks pretty and has all these things that you're saying, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Instead of making it that your animal has to deal with it, just find the right animal for what you're doing. Like, you don't need to.
When you have a Chalcodes in a planted enclosure, that just spells disaster.
Half of them are going to rip your plants up anyway, so what's the point?
On the planted enclosure, I would say, though, Jeremy.
Sorry?
Because if you're using plants suitable for the environment it comes from...
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that planting enclosure. I do plant it. I don't have diverse plants. I just use compost because that's the only thing I can't kill. But
we're saying with the
planted stuff, with my Heteropoda, I have planted stuff with some of my. I had planted stuff with like my mantids that come from Asia. They do benefit from the extra humidity, but if you keep like a Chalcodes or a Brachypelma in a planted damp enclosure, that's just screaming disaster.
Yeah, if you've got a Chalcodes and you've got a plant in there, unless it's something like a cactus, the plant should be dead.
Yeah, a cactus or an air plant or a succulus or something like that.
You do an arid planted, so your succulents and grasses.
Yeah,
and the grasses do look good, but again, the Chalcodes are destruction, so they'll just end up ripping it out anyway.
They'll just chew it up.
But the thing, when you do planted stuff, you always want to go bigger. You want to have a bigger enclosure, and that's the thing. So you're still giving enough space, and they may still dig it up and stuff, but there are ways of doing it where they perhaps won't.
If you take, the spider hobby does seem to take quite a few bits from the aquatic hobby with regards to things like setting enclosures up, sealing it with the marine noise. But one of the things that they do in the aquatic stuff is you'll always establish your tanks months before you
weeks.
introduce an animal.
Yeah.
If you're doing it properly, you let the water cycle, especially if it's a marine tank, you'll let all that stuff settle. You'll get it all established. You have a few cycles through. You make sure any corals and all that are going in, they're going to have to be in there, and that's then established enough for when the animals go in. They tend not to destroy it as much. Whereas if everything's all new, obviously it's not going to be environmentally good for the fish either. But if things haven't had a chance to settle down and establish themselves,
in terms of our terrarium,
I'm going to be back in 2 seconds.
And routine and stuff. I know the likes of like John Courtney Smith.
Oh, nice, Ian.
You want to touch on like bioactive, which is it's a bit of a null term a lot of the time because most enclosures you see online that are called bioactive whatsoever at all. And John Courtney often talks about how like if he's setting up a true bioactive enclosure, it's a good 6 months to a year before he puts the
Hi, Greg.
Night, Greg.
Night, Greg. Yeah, succulent, nice.
And even at that point, he still wouldn't call it a bioactive enclosure.
Yeah.
No.
Because it's like we're both a potential bioactive and cycling a fish tank. The main purpose of cycling a fish tank is that bioload. If you have a fresh tank with no beneficial bacteria to break down that ammonia, nitrates, and nitrites, the fish are just going to get burns in their gills and they're just going to die because the bacteria can't handle it. So it's a similar situation with like a bioactive tank for like a terrestrial animal. You want that beneficial bacteria, you want the springtails and other microorganisms to establish themselves before introducing said animal to take care of the bioload.
Because your substrate becomes the filter.
Yeah.
As Benjamin said when he was, I was talking about, one thing that a lot of people don't do is substrate changes. And when you're doing bio, because people go, it's bioactive, when it's not most of the time. And they go, we don't need to do anything now. I was like, no, actually, it's normally a lot more work because, you're doing the plants, but also, yes, you need to take out some of that substrate every now and then and put fresh in.
Yeah. See,
nutrients dissolve over time.
We've got a huge pond in our back garden, and it's probably, I say huge, it's 11 foot by 11 foot by about 4 foot at the deepest point, and then about 2.5 at the shallowest. The filtration system we've got for it is absolutely huge. It's like probably 6 foot long and about 2.5 foot deep, multi-segment thing, one of those big plastic ones. And whenever we do any maintenance on that, like, the filter blocks, okay, fine, take the crap off the filter inside the pond. But as far as the actual filtration system goes, when that goes blocked, we empty it, but I'll probably put 3/4 of the crap straight back in it because it's got the amount of live animals that I'm pulling out. We've even had frogs spawn and choose to spawn in the filters because it's just a proper healthy setup for all the spawn. Like all the little tadpoles come out and they just eat all the little bugs that are in there. And the fish do so well. Like you just have to let these things establish. We've had that pond going since 1999.
Oh wow.
And we've still got some fish in there, the mirror carp and stuff. We've had them since probably 2006, 2007, maybe. They're old, big fish.
Oh.
But yeah, I was going to say, like when you're talking about substrates and things like that and becoming active and stuff, that's where also you can run into problems maybe with things like the roaches where they become overpopulated and then you get issues like at the moment I have my fly problem in my Pacnoda setup. And my hissers are massively overpopulated at the moment, so I need to do something about those. But yeah, you do. It comes with its own set of issues when you have things like the beetles and the roaches and stuff in actual setups, because obviously the amount of poop they produce.
Me and Phil were discussing.
It's an attractant, and then the flies realise that the detrivores have done their job, so it's now their turn to continue breaking down that bioload.
Yeah. Me and Phil were talking about this the other day because there's like things you could put in the soil as well to stop the flies coming in. But yeah, that's another situation. But I don't want to say the word because I know it's a bit of a
No, see,
a lot of people.
with regards to the flies that I've got in my pack noda setup at the moment. You can look in. It's really strange. The back of the soil's perfect, but where they tend to eat at the front, it's just probably about all the grubs now come up. And what I noticed, Phil, is the grubs will come up. They will take the courgette, the carrot, whatever I feed them, and just suck it straight underneath the ground so they can have it. So all I'm doing at the moment is I'm digging out spoonfuls and I'm putting a lot of white wood and leaf litter, like rotten leaves in there, and then putting the soil back and then putting the food on. It doesn't stop them. So I've started putting the food up in the tree bits so that only the beetles can get to it. And I've seen basically they just knock it off and the grubs take it away straight away. So I do need to do something with the setup. So they've got, at the moment, they're just using the front to eat and the back is not being used at all. So the idea of having these two tiers of the cork bark isn't really working. It looks nice, but it's just not really working. So I'm going to take them all out, rehouse them.
What about like some sort of like cork back or rock mound in the middle?
That's what I've got at the moment. Basically, what I've got. So yeah, let's go on a journey. If I can get my camera. Oh, what's that called on? It's me. Let's go around that way. Right. So that's the setup, Leah, right?
Oh, sorry about the dogs. Yeah.
At the moment, that's where they're eating down the front. And then you can see you've got the cork bark there.
Right. Okay.
And it's a lot deeper at the back. But they do go to the back and they do climb up and down on there. But unfortunately, as you can see from the flies,
hey Andy,
it needs something to. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the cork bark, cut it in half, and have half of it in there so that they can then have like a sloped bit of earth on one side, so that they get more use of all the earth. So, but yeah, that's my.
I know what Phil does at the zoo with the big pieces of corn, and he put it up in the tree bit, and then you see them up on the tree numbing it.
I do when I take like pieces of like courgette or sweet corn and things like that. I've got like the branches up the top, and I've made it like a wigwam, so you can use it like a plate almost at the top. That was by design, but yeah, they're obviously doing okay because there's an awful lot of grubs in there because the grubs are producing the amount of poop that they're producing. So I'm happy for that, and I think I've had about 20 or 25 cocoons this year. So. When I first got them, I still remember when I first got them, I was panicking about these things. They're not coming out, they're not breeding, they're not producing beetles or anything ever. And now I've got new cocoons from new grubs. So obviously it's cycling round okay.
Yeah.
So it's a nice environment. I just need to do something with the soil at the moment.
Fair.
Hello, Jay.
Hello again.
Yeah, literally. I mean that's what I've done at work before. I've got just a plant pot and filled it just with beetle grub frass and stuck a cup in there, and it's rooted in no time.
Yeah.
I'll do that with the pothos downstairs.
Beetle frass is gold.
I wonder whether or not
you can also feed it to your isopods.
Yeah.
Springtails.
I was wondering whether or not maybe it's stuff to do with the fact that it's slightly hydrophobic. So maybe because the water obviously will go through it more, and then obviously a lot of nutrients as well. But like maybe that's why they root so fast because they've got to get through that as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of everything. Yeah, it's a bit like it's actual it's like hydronica with nutrients.
So you saying
I've
that
got
if I
literally like baggies of it.
You saying if I bag up all the poop and bring it along as isopod food, people will buy it?
Maybe I've got bags of it in the box because I literally use it for when I'm planting.
People buy bat shit.
Do you know
people
what?
buy bat shit? They will buy beetle shit.
We could do it like a pick and mix. We could do it like a pick and mix. We could have hisser poop, beetle poop, and all that, and a little spatula, and we'll have little bags. And then when you start to come around Phil's show, you can just pick up what you want, and we can weigh it and charge you per pound or whatever.
A pound of shit.
Mixed shit. God. Picking shit.
Interesting concept. I don't think that'd be too good if it's on the same table as Caitlin's cakes. That won't be very nice.
You think it might be worth doing some bullshit too?
Plenty of that. Anyway, Jay, do you keep anything else apart from your dog and your spiders and your centipedes? You got anything other interesting animals?
And Aaron.
We've got Aaron. We've got vampire crabs.
Oh yes, yes.
We've got a shrimp tank. We've got a bog standard tropical aquarium. 2 leopard geckos, a corn snake, and a bearded dragon.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
Nice. Eclectic.
Yeah. The shrimp tank wasn't supposed to be just a shrimp tank. It did have a really nice betta fish in there, but we think it jumped out, and we think the dog ate it because we've never found it.
Oh,
Oh dear.
I had 3 newts and my cat ate one of them because it escaped. They can climb glass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of knew that, but I also didn't think they would climb up and get out the tiny little hole that was at the top. Oh, he did.
Well, see, if I get an escapee vampire crab, which does happen relatively regularly, it's usually Della that lets me know that there's one around because she'll be sniffing in a corner somewhere.
Oh wow. Do you
remembers
speaking
the
of crab,
protein.
do you follow Howie the crab on TikTok and
I don't think
Instagram?
so. Howie the crab? No.
This lady has had this crab
No,
for so long, and she takes it out. She obviously does a lot of feeding videos and lets it try different types of food. This and that. But every time it comes up to the crab molting, it's a hugely like, will it make it now? Will it make it? Because I believe as they get older, the molting process for them becomes so much more stressful that most crabs tend to die during that molting process. It's the stress of that kills them. But it's a really cool account. She absolutely loves this crab. She takes it out for walks down the road.
What's it called again?
Howie. She puts it on a lead and walks it down the pavement. And takes it in the car, takes it to the shop. Yeah.
I don't do that
Oh
with
my
mine, but they
God,
take
it's
themselves for a
so
walk around the
cute.
living room sometimes.
It's an awesome crab, and she absolutely loves the person. You know how much I was like following the person who had Peanut, the bearded dragon.
Oh yeah.
It's a very similar type of. This woman just dotes after Howie, and I can't understand what this woman's going to go through when Howie eventually passes away. It's going to be
So sorry.
for her. She literally lives for that crab. She's had it years, absolutely years. But
It
it's
goes
just
to show if the husbandry is right, crabs can live for a long time. That's what puts people
yep.
off of crabs is the short lifespan.
I've no idea what type of crab it is, but it's
It's
seems
some
quite-
sort of land crab.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Something. Yeah, she has all sorts of hats, all sort of outfits for it. It's like I don't know what it is about people in America. They do like dressing their animals up.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
To
There
be
was somebody I
fair,
used to follow on. There was somebody I used to follow on YouTube, I think, an American that bought a live lobster from a supermarket.
Ah, yes.
into
Hank.
Popped into that's it. I used to follow that quite a bit.
Yeah,
Hank is cool.
yeah. 'Cause
It's
it was
so cool
sold
that he
sold
managed
as
to get
food and
it
bought
to
as a
work
pet.
its claw again because Hank had the issue with the claw because of the rubber bands.
We used to go in there with a little litter pick thing and sort of like fight with the crabs to sort of try the lobster try and strengthen its claw back up.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Is that a thing then? Is it with the lobsters? If like when they rubber band them for obviously for food products and stuff like that, it can I suppose because they're obviously trying to open it, stresses the muscles.
Yeah,
up,
because
I presume.
it's like what would you call it? What's the term? God, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Essentially, like the pinchy part is like a mushy tendon. So if you restrain that for like so long, it just gets weaker and weaker and they're unable to open the claw anymore. It's
Well,
like
chat-
I've seen the guy recently, the lobster fisherman who cuts the barnacles off of the lobsters because if those barnacles end up growing over the joints in the lobster, they won't be able to move and molt.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Well, don't know. Have you you know of Crab Central Station?
No.
So American, they've got awesome crab central. They've managed to breed up crabs. So they're bred land hermit crabs.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
basically,
I
they
think I
just
have
eat-
listened to that podcast.
yeah, she was on the
Animals at
Animal
Home,
Home
right?
podcast a couple of times.
Yeah, I've listened to that one.
And
That lady is really cool.
super cool because literally in America, but on holiday, and they basically I can't remember did they win the crab or they just no they went to pet shop and bought.
They just
a
happened to
crab,
see them for sale at the beach
just
in Florida.
sort of say or whatever as like a throwaway animal kind of thing, throwaway pet. And then when they've done the research and went, oh shit, these things should live like 40 odd years or more, kind of thing. What the hell we do, sort of thing. So she's basically set up in this room, dedicated a room to her hermit crabs, where she set up different areas for them using exoterras, but joining exoterras together. And so on Instagram, let me put a photo of it. So
Let's put you up on big screen.
what she does, she turns exoterras upside down to put them on top of other exoterras. So all of that is basically one enclosure
I see.
Oh wow.
behind her.
Yeah.
Fascinating
Big
work.
area, forest area, all these different areas, and she's managed to breed them.
Cool.
Yeah, and
Isn't it?
it's not just the one species. I believe she's bred 2 or 3
Yeah, she's
species
got a
of
couple,
hermits
hasn't
in
she? Yeah.
captivity now. She's been able to replicate the tides and being able to raise the what's the term, Phil? It's like zootonic or something like that.
Well, the
No, not
zooplankton.
zootonic. That's diseases. It's you know that stage that they're like they're not a larva, but they're like a there's something.
I know what Jeremy's trying to say, but I'm just enjoying Jeremy trying to figure out.
Jeremy's
Even
Tech
better.
Hour. There's a person on TikTok that I was watching the other day. It was really good to watch, like one of those wholesome channels where he was going around and he was just finding hermit crabs everywhere that had made their homes in things like Pepsi bottle tops and things like that. And he was going along and just putting like a selection of shells all around them and effectively encouraging them to find a new home and then taking the trash away from the beach. Absolutely awesome. It's like that is such a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
I can imagine it's time consuming. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
So just
Wow.
So from one hermit crab, one of her hermit crabs gave birth to 3,000 young.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then you imagine how many hermit crabs are taken from the wild for novelty shells.
Yeah. That's a long time.
And it's one of the
Steve.
things in the UK as well. Hermit crabs, like a lot of us have kept them in the past, and stuff. Nowadays they don't, because I never kept them in the right sort of setup, and most people don't. And most people are told the complete wrong setup for them. I mean, just the amount of space they actually really require. And they got to think, you're going to potentially have that for, as I said, 20 years or more, maybe 40 to 50 years. You're going to have that crab.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I have a question for Jeremy, not to take away from the crab conversation, but
Yeah.
so remember when we were at the show, I bought myself some Texas jumping spiders,
Right.
and you said that they are probably,
Possibly a pair.
yes, sub-adult, possibly.
Yes.
Yeah. How the hell do I tell when they're ready? Because they're so tiny.
What you're looking for is, with the female, you're looking for the epigene. So like a tarantula has an epigastric furrow, you're looking for the epigene. So it's a black little spot, and when a female's mature, it's like shiny, kind of. And males like tarantulas, big bold belly palps. So that's essentially what you're looking for. Texanus, I don't think get too big, so you don't have much longer to wait.
Yeah, I just can't work it out. They're so tiny.
What are they?
Yeah,
hunting?
jumpers are fiddly. They're not for me. Phidippus texanus.
Oh, right. Is there not a like with some tarantulas, like Luke has said to me in the past? just put your male, and if the female's not ready, there won't be anything. You can take the male back out.
Yeah.
I take it with the jumpers, they're more likely to eat each other, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a visual thing. So if the female's even slightly hungry, she will kill that male.
Yeah.
And or vice versa. I have seen males kill females, so
Yeah, I've heard of that as well.
and that's with a mature male and a subadult female, unfortunately.
Jumping spiders are vicious.
They are brutal predators. I mean, look at Portia, the spider-eating jumpers.
Mm.
Being able to utilize vision to specifically aim to not get into the web and jump onto the orb weaver. Crazy.
Yep. Oh yeah, I saw the video and the ones where they attack from above as well.
Yeah,
Sure
and they
get
dangle
touched.
down.
Yeah.
Portia are in the UK. I want them so bad, but what could I feed them? I don't know. Maybe false widows?
Yeah.
I've got a load of them if you want.
I've got about 4 false widows.
I don't want to try it right now. Portia are just coming in. I know Tanya from Hylas Club or something like that. Hylas, whatever. She specializes in Hylas, jumping spiders. She's got them in, so she's hopefully going to breed those.
That's harsh, Charlie.
Rest in peace, Mini Man. Just we'll leave it at that.
Rest in peace, little dude. Brutal.
I'm pretty sure that this one's the male.
Oh, you know, I should have labelled them for you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, were they yours?
I'm sure this one's the male anyway.
No,
because
she bought them from Bugs UK, and Terry
right,
came up
okay.
to me, and I tried to sex them for him, but they're so tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one is male though. He's got when their legs get a little bit bigger at the front. That's the only way I could describe them.
What, his
Yeah,
penis?
they get their bulky arms.
Yeah. I do love my little jumping spiders. They're so cute.
Our male's still going. So my male, when did it mature out?
Your
We'll have to get
jumper?
Yeah, I'm going to get on a date of this because this is. I'm amazed that this thing's still going and still eating as well.
Wasn't it earlier this year?
No, it was before then. I bought it at Taunton last year.
Wow.
I bought him on the 27th of January last year, and his last molt, like his final molt, was in July, 21st of July last year.
Wow. So he's been alive a long time.
And he's still feeding.
He's still able to grip on the sides of the enclosure and stuff, yeah?
He's still in. He's still in his setup, and he's walking up and down. He's got so much web up the sides and on the top.
Oh, so he's gripping onto that. Okay.
Yeah, but he's still like he's not doing any visceral hunting now. If I put like a fly in there, he won't chase it. But if I take the head off a mealworm and then I put the tongs towards him, he will latch onto it with his fangs and he will empty that mealworm's guts out. So his abdomen's looking a little bit small, and it does he goes from probably like 3 or 4 weeks between feeds. He won't eat every week.
And then people say jumping spiders only live a year.
Yeah, he's still going. It's going to be Kath's going to be gutted when he passes away, but he's doing so well. He was okay with handling before he matured, and then just doesn't like it. He won't tolerate it now, so we just leave him be. But he's in a 15 by 15 by 20, and he's still roaming around the whole thing. So,
yeah, jumping spiders are really cool. They're just a different kettle of fish, breeding wise. The slings are just so, they just drop.
Oh, dude! So Natalie Bughut has had, I think, probably 8 or 9 sacks, and they are big sacks. I'm not sure of which jumpers they are, but she's had a fair few different ones, and some of the sacks have been huge. She's got ridiculous babies. Yeah. Jumping spiders not interest you, Jay?
We've tried jumping spiders. the last one we had was Phidippus Pachianus,
All right, yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
nice.
which where did I buy that from?
TSS
Aaron?
likely.
It was on the last show,
All right, okay.
or one of the last shows I was at. Anyway,
Was this?
oh, the one that I went to with you.
Yeah. So you bought
Yeah.
that at Bristol, didn't you? Yeah. Okay.
And that molted about 2 weeks ago. I gave it about 4 days before I was going to try and feed it anything. Went to feed it, and it was just laying dead at the bottom of the tub.
Oh, damn.
Oh. Really annoying.
Yeah.
So I have
they
no luck
sometimes
with
do it.
jumping spiders.
There are some jumpers that play dead as well.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
No. It's a certain one. I can't think what it is, but they end up they play it. But if you go to move them, they will move. But you'll open up the enclosure and go, oh, it's passed away, and then as soon as you touch it, they'll flip themselves back over and run off. But they're very strange things. Oh, that's good to hear, Amy.
One spider I really want, Phil. I don't know. Oh, anyone. I don't know if you know those ones that do the cartwheels down the sand dunes.
Oh yeah, they're epic.
Cartwheels down sand
Those are
dunes.
so cool. Yeah, so they're called cartwheel spiders by name, and the defense mechanism is that they'll bury under the sand, kind of like Sicarius. They'll bury underneath the sand and jump out of prey. And if something like a predatory wasp or something tries to eat them, they'll curl their legs up and start rolling down the hill.
Fair enough.
Really fast as well.
Really
It's
fast.
to
Really,
do with
really
speed and it's to do with the heat as well.
Would you like to see one?
Oh, please play a clip of them doing it. It's so
They're
funny.
epic.
There's
Right.
also a toad that does similar.
A toad?
Yeah, the pebble toad.
Oh, those little squeaky ones.
No,
Which ones are those?
So this is the Sabrinus, right? I won't have the music playing because I don't know how they've got away with having this video up with the music. It's like see what sort of setup would you give the spider like that? Like,
Probably just a terrestrial, but I think that's so funny.
it just
To
looks like
see
it's
them
being
tumble.
blown along in the wind, doesn't it?
I can just
I think
imagine
that's
the old
like what
couple
they're trying to
sat down-
mimic, like a little sand. What are they called? Tumbleweed or something.
Yeah.
Just blowing in the wind.
I can imagine that being on a beach somewhere with some couple sat there sunbathing, and suddenly they turn around, there's just this massive spider cartwheeling at them.
It's just
Could you
mental.
imagine? That would be mortifying.
They are very strange.
search of I'm pretty sure the common name is just pebble toad. I'm pretty sure they're either Central or South American. They climb basically. They're up like in the mountain ranges. They're only like this big, tiny little things, but they get hunted by tarantulas.
Cute.
Oh wow.
And their defense is literally just to basically bring their legs in, and they just jump off the mountain, and they just go all the way down, pretty much all the way down, like just going all sorts of rocks and stuff. And then when as they escape, and then when they feel that they've gone down far enough and they've stopped, then they start climbing back up the mountain.
Oh yeah, Andy, they do, and a lot of stars do, especially Tenbrinidae or darkling beetles. They will climb up the dunes and allow the mist to condensate onto their carapace or elytra, and then they'll drink.
Lift their abdomens up into the air so that the dew collects on the elytra, don't they?
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then it drips into their mouth and they drink from that. And that's how they stay hydrated.
Interesting.
And
Yeah,
then
there was photos
species
of
like
them
roadrunners
me.
wait for them to come down the hills and eat them because they have full of water, so they don't have to go looking for water.
Yep.
Ooh, I'll have a look at those.
It's funny how things have these mannerisms and they do things to actually sustain life, and then other animals develop to basically just quash that in 2 seconds flat.
Come on, I'm trying to put you back in. Don't be a silly
Part of
bugger.
evolution.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
Wow,
If
it's
you've
already
got-
10 o'clock.
yeah, I know it's gone quick tonight, hasn't it? We've had interesting topics.
Yeah. I got a headache.
E-Murinus is mine. They already called dibs.
I'm a bit busy. What? Do you want me to use it for you?
So if anyone's got any questions they want to ask about,
Yeah. Love having these kinds of talks. It's always nice to dive deep into topics.
yeah.
Oops.
Oh, I did catch. I don't know if Osman's still watching, but this was epic. I caught this the other. Was it Monday night after I left Phil's?
What are you doing?
Oh,
That is one absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, this is a better photo actually. That is a gorgeous spider.
Ooh, what's that?
Right. I'm not going to say anyone who can guess the correct name, apart from Osman.
I haven't got a clue.
Whatever it is, it's very pretty.
It's a dwarf species. I'll give you that.
You're unmuted.
No one?
No clue.
It's a baboon spider. Gary.
Baboon.
Yeah, he's called Gary, Ian. Hold on.
Gary.
It's a baboon spider.
Oh, Charlie said, hold on, stream loading. You know, Charlie and his baboons, his ears perk up when he hears baboons.
Yeah.
Especially the ones with the big red asses.
Are they doing a name the charge? No, they're not doing a name the charge. They're just asking.
Charlie said Heterothelly.
Nope.
Oh, Charlie got it wrong.
To be fair, it's not the best photo in the world, but it's a dwarf arboreal.
A dwarf arboreal baboon.
Well, it lives sort of arboreally. The setup that you have for them can be like a tall setup. It will web up and go up, and it will also live in the roots a little bit. But not seen very often. It's out at the moment. It is out at the moment. But if I touch the enclosure,
Yeah,
it's
he
just
has
gonna bolt off.
surgery.
So I'll give you an idea of the setup at the moment, Jeremy. Right?
Lost her moon head as well.
So let me have a look. Oh. Ooh.
So it has got substrate. It lives sort of around here, but most of the time will spend up here, like on the lid. But it's actually, I'm going to get the genus name. Completely wrong. Ensiocratella oliviacea.
Oh, right. Those are the ones that don't have the
Spermitica.
Yes.
Yep. You have to do it. They don't have the flaps, do they? You can't sort of identify them that way.
They
But it's
don't.
No flappage.
Yeah, no
No
flappage.
flappage.
Hey, Michael. But it's the tiger balloon.
if there's no flappage.
Hi, Michael.
I'll tell you, it's crazy. It's like,
Hey, Michael.
how would you know? You've got your spiders, and you think, excellent, I've got a breeding pair, and you're like, oh, there's no flaps. They must both be males, and it's like, no, one of them's going to be female. You have to wait until one of them matures to see its pedipalps and hooks. They are dwarf, I believe.
The webbing it creates is quite similar. I've got Heterocella viacella, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Isn't
that web
it?
is very similarly to that.
What's that one?
That's the Apache jumper's bow.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Janus. Little
Very
Watsits.
pretty.
They are just
No,
literally vivid orange. They're so pretty.
Yeah, they
And
are. I was right. They are arboreal.
I swear, right, that like nature knows what colours go together so well because the orange and the blue is like.
So nice.
I thought they were, Charlie. I thought they were dwarf. I mean, it's I don't think if they're not classed as dwarf, they don't grow very big. Leg span 12 centimeters.
So 12 centimeters is what, 4 inches, right? Thereabouts.
Yeah. Some people would class that as big. It's the
None of
first.
the guys I know.
Yeah, so it's the first African second known tarantula species which lacks spermatica. Single genus. But yeah, it doesn't seem to grow very big. But hey, I could be entirely wrong. But it's a beautiful spider. Beautiful spider.
What the hell? Like, shut up.
And the funny thing was, that one was actually picked up. Really, really rare to see. Got that from Bug Hut.
Before I recognised the tub.
I can't.
Yeah. To be fair, it probably came through from Lee, but yeah, it was a Bug Hut. Along at the same time, on that same day, she had the longeeps and the dichromata as well. So Osman was just like,
Kid in the candy store.
yeah, very much so.
Like we were.
Oh yeah.
She
That
put
was
a post
awesome.
up. She put a post up the other day. She's now going to be closed on Thursdays because they get all their feeders in on Thursdays, so she has to go through and sort all that out. But I was like, I wasn't sure whether that means she was opening up on Wednesdays or not. I've got to
Right, Andy, take care.
because
Night, Andy.
see you later, Andy. Because Osman's coming over, and we arranged what day he was going to come over, and we were going to do it Wednesday, and then we remembered that she was shut on Wednesday, so he's coming over on the Thursday, and then now she put a post up saying, "Oh, I'm going to be shut on Thursdays," so I'm not
I'm sure
rearranged.
she could make an exception, right?
Oh, she won't. She won't. Yeah, she won't. She won't be closed. She won't be closed.
Yeah.
We'll still have access to the shop. It'll be fine.
Oh, if she wants to start working with the Trues, let me know, and I can always sort out some stock for her.
Matt,
Yes.
have you noticed in chat I've got a little badge next to my name?
Yes. Well, actually, it doesn't really show up in StreamYard. Thank you very much, sir.
That's all right, no problem.
Cheers, buddy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, appreciate
I've done that 6 days ago.
it. I haven't had any notification come through.
No.
No.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
No.
I find you don't if people join not on a live. I don't get
It's
notified
weird.
either.
Yeah.
Like every now and then I have to go in and check because I do like almost like the credits of like members and stuff. Like I have to check every now and then just to see if it's still correct and stuff because it doesn't
it's
tell
weird,
me.
isn't it? Yeah, and then all of a
That's not
sudden
nice, Michael.
I get like, oh wow, okay, 5 inches. Yeah, so what's that, like 14, 15 centimeters, something like that? Not tiny then, is it? Fair enough.
Michael lost 3 regalis slings
Oh, not
and a Juvie fimbriatus.
I thought
And
you said
on
Regis.
the next day.
Hang on. Yeah, he said Regis, not regardless. You're not wearing that.
Oh yeah.
Yep, always happy
Oh, yeah.
to be wrong, Charlie. It's always good.
Can I just point out that you either look like a cross between the Joker or Beetlejuice?
I can wear just wear the shirt if you want.
Do you want me to show you him?
Well, you can if you want. I don't care. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
I'll turn my camera because it's easier.
Hello, Leah.
Yeah.
Stand over there because the light's in the way.
I've got one of those jackets.
Put your
Sorry,
head down.
Why do you keep copying me in my my dress sense?
He's Can you start
Or-
singing any 30?
Or I can just go like that. In my sexy shirt with my very shiny shoes. Look at them. With roses on.
Bust out any 30 Seconds to Mars tunes or anything? No.
I wasn't expecting him to come down with lime green hair, to be fair.
Oh, I did that just because.
So we're now going to have to start calling him Jared, yeah?
Yeah, he looks a bit like Jared Leto right now.
I
Michael
wish
said
I
he
looked
looks
like
like Beetlejuice.
Go. What do you think?
I think you look good.
Or shall I go Dickie bow tie?
No.
Dickie bow tie?
You wear a dicky bow and I divorce you.
Yes! Dickie bow tie it is.
What's wrong with Dickie Bows?
I didn't say I was wearing it around my neck. I'm going to put it around my I'm going to put it, but then my.
What, you going to wrap it 5 times?
Yeah.
You look very smart.
I feel like a twat.
The shirt's probably a little bit big for you, to be honest.
It is a little bit big.
Where's he getting all dressed up for anyway?
I gotta go
He's
to.
got an awards evening tomorrow night with work.
Ah, very nice.
I'm going to be all on my lonesome until about 1 o'clock in the morning.
No, you're not. Steve's going to give you a ring.
Welcome
Hey,
back,
Ben.
Ben.
Ben! I can't see him. Oh, there he is. Right, Ben! Ellie is still convinced that his name is not Ben.
What does she think his name is?
Something beginning with I. I was like, Ellie, his name's Ominous Inverts. She's like, yeah, but it's definitely not Ben.
Do I tuck shirt okay tucked in like that? Trouser length okay?
Yes,
Well,
love,
to
you
be
look very
fair,
nice.
to be fair, and I'm never ever going to let this go. But when Ben turned up at the Capitol show, and I said about his name or something, I can't think what I said, but he got completely confused because I said, "Oh, yeah, that's right." I said, "Oh, Neb," like because obviously his name on WhatsApp,
Yeah.
and he was like, just looked at me blankly, like I was mental. And it's like Katie had to look at him and say, "That's what your name is on WhatsApp." He's like, "Oh yeah, completely forgot his own name."
So I can't wear the skull jacket then.
Of course you can.
He said I had to wear a jacket,
Yeah.
right? He
Actually, yeah, no,
he
yeah.
said I had to wear a jacket, right?
You wear it.
Right?
Wear it,
He
wear
said
it.
I had to wear a fucking jacket. He told me I had to wear a fucking tie. So I've got a tie with skulls and crossbones on it, right? Right? And I've got a jacket on. And I've got skulls and crossbones on my little handkerchief thing to go in my pocket. Right?
I think you look really nice. I changed his earrings, though. They don't match.
No, I'm going to put white ones in.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie, that one definitely does. You can see so when I've got like a mister, like one of those atomizer misters, and I missed all the top of the webbing. And as soon as you do that, this spider comes out and it will drink from the top of the webbing all the time. It's pointless putting a water bowl in there because it's just covered in web. Very, very heavy webbers. Yeah, Ben, I knew you were tired, mate.
Oh, bless.
It was funny. So, anyone got any plans for the rest of this week? Any good plans?
Just working.
Working, continuing setting up Halloween display ready for next week.
I don't even have my Halloween decorations down yet. Terry's supposed to have done it on the weekend.
Redo a couple of enclosures for the Halloween display.
Nice.
Well,
But you say, just
Oh, I'll
working.
be able to see those in person.
Working then Friday night, I've got to pack up 2 pokies ready to take to Coventry on Saturday. So that's going to be fun. But then I get to redo those enclosures and work out what I'm going to put in them. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Are they quite big or?
So one of them is Miranda. She spans almost my hand. She's a decent size.
Right. Okay.
The Metallica's probably about sort of 12 to 15 inches DLS, which is reasonable.
Oh, wow, that's a good size.
Nice. My Miranda, unfortunately, I had one of those. And it was weird. I got it from in a mystery box from Portsmouth last November. I think it was one of the ones where Scott had the first discount thing from Portsmouth on that night, and I got a mystery box from Danielle, and the Miranda, unfortunately, it was like it never ate, and it started to like really balloon up as if it was like pre-malt, and then just died. So it must have had something internally wrong with it. It just started going really dark and really big. Very strange. But yeah, they're lovely spider.
They are, yeah. Mine, the one that I have here, she's out quite a lot. Of any of the pokies, you can guarantee she'll be out stuck on the side of the tank.
Yeah, I find both my Regalis hide quite a lot. The Lowland I've got stays behind its cork bark all the time. The the one that does come out a lot is the one I got from Dave, which was the Formosa. That thing just wanders around all day, like having a look around, having a drink, looking for food. Quite lovely spider, the Formosa, and that's grown a lot. But
they are a beautiful genus, I have to say, pokies.
Michael, that is terrible, Michael. That is the worst joke.
I'm sure he said that last year as well. I remember him saying that last year. Michael, I've sent you a message.
Having rehoused the Incy female that's freed up her own home, so need to. Oh, okay. Good luck with that, Mark. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Skeleton legs, they're always feisty, aren't they?
You got bad mood.
He says it every year, Leah, apparently.
Yeah, thought so.
What about you, Jeremy? You're off college now, aren't you, for the rest of the week? You just getting ready for Cov, are you?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow I've got, because like basically Thursday and Fridays for me to catch up on like my online work, so I've got a lot of that to do tomorrow. So, but hopefully my friend is coming over this weekend. He's going to help me out with the electrics for the garage. Yep. So he'll install 2 plugs on the top, 2 plugs on the bottom. So I have 4 plugs, so at least 4 plugs for extension leads. And then, yeah, still waiting on my dad's friend to come over and box up the gas meter and stuff and build a extra door. So like as you open the garage door, at least it's still like a privacy thing, you know, I can leave the door open for airflow.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, not really much. I've got to rehouse these Lycosa Hispanicas tomorrow. And then yeah, nothing much really. Just chill out. Get ready for Cov next week. I'm excited.
What about you, Mark?
Tried to pee on the TV.
Hmm?
Sorry, what was that, Matt?
I said, what about you? You doing anything interesting the rest of the week or not?
No, basically just gonna get them that spider tomorrow. Get that rehoused. I may do the feeding tomorrow. I don't know yet, but if I don't, it'll just be a chill day, and then do the feeding Friday. Then off to Pete's on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got.
Good boy. No,
I'm
good boy.
I'm actually off work until Saturday, but tomorrow I'm going to probably spend the day sifting poo out of the Pacnodas enclosure. I've got to go and get some crickets first thing in the morning.
Night, Ian.
Night, Ian.
Night, Ian.
Yeah, I've got to get some crickets first thing in the morning because I have got an awful lot of assassin bug babies looking at me.
Food.
There's so many babies in there, it's ridiculous, and they do. They
no
go
food. I eat my siblings.
they do. They will. Well, they don't eat the siblings. No, what they do is, I actually saw it. They had crickets in there, but a load of them just attacked one of the mature males.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Mature male Platimera at Satala.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a load of the babies went at him.
Could
they
it
probably
be
realised
he's
getting
getting on a
weaker,
bit?
and they just
Yeah,
he was old. Oh yeah, he was old. But yeah, they were like underneath the cave, all on him. It's ridiculous, upside down. He was hanging. Obviously, he's not molting, so he's just up there hanging, and a load of them climbed on him. But yeah, they're going through the food like crazy, and there's so many in there now. It's ridiculous. And they're all getting You know how small they were.
In numbers, it's going to be such a nice display. Just having all these adult.
You know how small they were a few weeks back when I showed them last time?
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look. See if I can get the cable over there.
At least put us on big screen. You want?
Yeah, I will. Well, you can do that.
Oh yeah, I can, can't I? I forgot.
Look at all of them. Oh my god, there's so many.
Jesus.
Oh, they're so nice, man. I miss having assassins.
How fat they are. Look how fat this one is down here.
When they get really fat, they just look like cherries with legs.
Yes.
And there's one here on the lid. The adult here on the lid. Didn't see him in there.
Oh, little bugger.
Oh, so nice.
But yeah, they've got quite big now, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh my god. There's so many.
Oh, and underneath this cave, I'll see if I can get the light in there somehow.
Looks like you've got even more new ones, to be honest. Looks like smaller ones again.
There's a load in there, look.
Wow.
And then round the other side as well, there's another sort of like entrance into that cave round that side. There's a load more in there.
Like epic.
But yeah, there's loads. So, sorry, dude. The one on the lid is still on the lid. That was as much as I try and blast him off. He's managed to stay on there.
Oh, Moon! No! Stop it!
It's weird. There's one little bit in there where I've got the cave and then I've got like an archway bit in front for them all to lay on the cork bark. And the male, he gets right near the top and then he puts his legs up and then he goes crawling around the lid and then forgets where he's come from. So he'll either try and go down the glass and then fall off, or I end up opening it up.
No.
Yeah, he just fell off now. Idiot. But yeah, so there's going to be some red. There's going to be some ready for you. I know. Both Jay and Phil were both looking at some, so there will be some available very soon. I've got way too many in there.
Yeah, I'd love to have assassins again.
I only had 8 when I first got them. They've not done bad, have they?
No, they've done really well for you, dude.
I got these. I won them at Mitch's Christmas giveaway thing last year, and they got sent to me January.
Sorry.
Okay, that's doing pretty well.
And I honestly, all I did was just took Phil's advice, chuck some cork bark in, chuck some substrate, keep the substrate damp. So I've got a very back corner that's dry, but most of it's kept wet, and they've just gone crazy. There was nothing for ages, and then all of a sudden there was just a billion babies in there.
That just screams assassin bugs for you. Just nothing in a baby boom.
I got about 15 of them ages ago off Steve Thornton. But I think whatever advice I'd read, I obviously didn't keep their substrate moist enough. I kept them a bit too dry because I never got any babies.
I did the same thing. I was told to keep them drier, and
yeah.
I did.
Everything you'll read online and people tend to say is, well, you can try and just keep them on one corner moist or this or the other. I used to do that until I think my first ever zoo conference, Inverts zoo conference, many years ago, and the creator Bristol was just sort of like, they come from the rainforest, they like it damp, and they would like spray theirs every single day, sort of thing, and keep all their substrate moist all times.
I will get the old water sprayer with a hose thing out on them once a week to keep them, and then every day I'll go in with one of these, and I'll just mist the air, but they've I think a lot of the people used to sort of say, right, keep it dry, but have almost like a sphagnum moss tub corner. But that's just
basically what I did. Yeah,
that seems silly to me in the fact that they have to hang to molt, and they're going to have problems molting if the humidity is too low. So therefore, how can they molt in a sphagnum tub? Because there's no height to it unless you have it the same height as the enclosure. And then how are they going to get up to the top of it? Because they can't climb very well. It's but yeah, I'll just keep it wet. Like not sopping wet. You couldn't have a bath in there, but it's it looks dark. They don't like getting sprayed though, that's for sure. Even though they like the moisture, they don't like getting sprayed. You spray and they run.
Tend not to really spray mine. I just pour water in.
Yeah.
That's what I sort of do.
I go down the glass, like with the sprayer, I go onto the glass so it gets to the edge of the soil and then soaks in. But they seem to like lining across that area, which to me says they like the damp parts because it's wetter in the edge.
Yeah. And I do it with, the species I keep privately. So I've got the red spots and the yellow spots privately. And then I've got the white spots. So I do all of them. I keep them all fairly wet.
Are you coming to Phil's, Jay?
I don't know. I will if I can.
Okay. Well, let us know ahead of time, because if you do, these might be ready by then. I think they're eating, so...
I was about to say the calendar's ready, but my calendar has been moved. I think Terry's pinched it.
Oh, yeah. What's he doing with that? No? Is he looking at February, is he?
I don't know what he's doing with it.
He's having some private time with it.
Look. Is that better? I think I've
The curtains are open.
Doesn't matter. That better, look. Rock that one.
Has he just come downstairs with just his bow tie on? Yeah, you can see him in the mirror.
He's gone.
I can imagine he sprinted away just now.
Oh. All right, I've got an escape now.
Oh my god.
Alice wants to see it. Get him back now.
He's just gone.
Hey, Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte. I've got to get all these mystery boxes and stuff out Monday because I was really poorly, so I couldn't do it. But I'm not going to post tomorrow because if it doesn't get delivered Friday, then there's that whole will it be stuck for the weekend?
Yeah,
I
plus
hate
it's pissing it down with
posting.
rain for the next couple of days, so it's like those boxes are going to end up getting drenched.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I love the fact it's absolutely raining for the last few days because next door haven't been able to do any angle grinding.
Nice one.
It's all right. I've just got to check around the room now because I had 2 assassin bugs just wandering around on the desk.
Oh,
When Aaron was at Chesington, they used to have wild roaming assassin bugs for no apparent reason.
Oh, wow.
Chessington?
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
Aaron
just,
used to be a keeper at
picking one
Chesington.
up? Oh, this is cute. Ah!
Mm-hmm.
I've heard their venom is not very nice, and I'm not willing to test it out.
Has been told about the leaf cutter ants nicking peas off people's plates.
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh,
I'd love
Phil,
to
what
have
happened to
these
the leaf
cuttings.
cutters? Did you manage to get them back
oh
in?
yeah. Did you get them back in?
No. They're still digging.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
They've done quite a lot.
Oh no.
Jackie, I am trying to send them out Monday. Hopefully,
It's a bit of a weird one because
I'm getting the envelopes off Ellie.
the ones that have decided to split off and start up their own little nest, I've seen them outside of the buildings carrying, but not seen them actually carrying anything into the nest that they've decided to build.
Oh my lord.
But the ones
Is
that
it a
are
one queen colony?
Yeah, I'm
The
ready,
one-
Charlotte. Can't
the
wait.
ones that where they should be are still cutting and carrying
Uh-huh.
and feeding the fungus. So
But you haven't seen any of the workers carrying the fungus over yet, have you?
Well, they
Well.
can't. Apparently, because I wasn't on day that they, managed to form a bit of a line out and were managing to get out. Apparently, some were carrying little bits of fungus.
Oh no.
Possibly. Which is
Jeremy,
that's where I went, crap. Has the queen been moved? Or have we got a second queen? I don't know if they can have acromimics. I haven't really heard about second queens and acromimics.
I don't think they have multi-queen, but...
I've heard of second queens in Atta.
Yeah, definitely in Atta.
Because,
Hey, Charlotte.
like secondary queens and stuff.
I know.
Atta are ridiculous.
You're right,
though.
Terry.
Millions.
I am.
Madness.
I have got a question, right? The reason Matt figured that out so quick is because Matt's obviously done exactly the same thing as I did. Yep, there we go. That's all we needed to know.
No denial there.
Jeremy,
Yes, Mark.
I had me crab spiders come today.
Okay. Are they good
Yeah.
size? Or are they dinky?
I think they're dinky. I ain't seen them. I had 10 of them come, not 7.
Oh, some freebies?
Yeah.
I love the crab spiders. Super underrated.
So
I've
Well,
got
mate, say
15
hi, Charlotte.
blind mantises coming tomorrow.
Nice.
I had 3 assassins just wandering around on the desk, not 2.
Wow.
Tiny little babies. You know, when I opened it up, basically because it's a Komodo lid, they got that mesh, but there's a gap between the glass and the actual mesh when you open it, isn't there? 2 of them had come out on there, and one of them was just decided to go out the back somehow. So yeah, at that size, they're not going to do anything apart from pass away, unfortunately. But they're all back in their enclosure.
That's
So,
good. I'd love to get my
So
hands on those
what's in
assassins
there,
that Bugs UK has. That the nymphs decorate themselves in dirt and stuff.
In where?
Oh wow!
every one,
I
yeah.
don't know. She just
Yeah,
said
they're
what's in
really
there.
cool.
Probably in your pots that you just
In
saw.
the box you were sorting out a minute ago.
This one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably that.
Oh, that's all jumping spiders. That's Gen 2. That's Gen 3.
Oh, nice. You label your stuff as well. I have to label all mine.
I rather than label it, I use different colours.
Well, yeah, no, still like labeling them. I label mine like, so I put the initials with my spiders, like for Hogna Carolinensis, I put HC1, so that's from the first egg sac, 1 female. HC2 will be from the second female, and I'll keep those separate. So hopefully I'll get pairs. I've done the same thing with my Madirianas, so hopefully I'll be able to get some pairs. I want at least 5.
The
5
female
pairs
has
of
laid
Madiriana.
those 3 sacs that I've had. She stopped laying.
Oh.
But she's gotten really, really, really fat, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Because she looks like she's going to burst.
Pop her near some. Well, your room's already hot. Just don't offer food and just keep her maybe away from like a commotion area until she'll settle down and pop a sack. You might just be just needing a big poop.
Charlotte, are you driving over to Coventry on your own? It's quite a drive from where you are, isn't it?
I got loads of moss in here that's like entangled with some
No,
ivy.
Alice, take care.
I'm going to plant
Night,
it. Night, Alice.
Bye.
I'll give it 5 more minutes before we close the stream, I think, and then give everyone a chance to say goodbye and stuff like that. So, I've enjoyed tonight, though, guys. It's been a really good chat. I've actually thought the time flew tonight. It was
It really did.
It was a good stream.
Yeah.
I just want to thank everyone who's come on tonight and sort of like taken part and answered the questions. Oh, Charlotte, you should have harangued Connor a little bit more to come over to the Cov show, because even though I'm not going to the Coventry show, I'm sure you could have bent his arm.
3 hours.
Yeah.
The hour and I think it's like an hour and 40 something minutes for us. It's not that far, so but we stay because obviously otherwise we've got to get up stupid o'clock in the morning to go.
I think it's about a 40-minute drive for me.
We drove we actually drove past Coventry and past you, Mark, the other on Friday and Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah, on the way to Connor's. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know. He did mention it, Charlotte. He said that you'd messaged him in one of the Discord groups or something. I think he was sort of like a bit confused as to who you were to start with. Bless him. He's a nervous chap. You need to go and find him and just bully him into going.
I need to have a look through my old bloody mystery boxes too.
He lives up on Frid, in one of the buildings on the end of Frid.
Charlotte, do I owe you a mystery box?
Well, look, I'm hoping Terry's t-shirt will be here before Coventry.
Oh, you'd be well happy.
It's all ordered and everything.
Oh, I thought
Oh,
you meant
thank
because you were
gosh.
scared he was just going to turn up in a bow tie.
You never know. You never know.
It only occurred to me the other day, I've still not got my train ticket for Coventry.
Oh,
What was that?
Still haven't yet
Okay.
got my train tickets for Coventry, so I need to sort that out.
you've got plenty of time. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, didn't know you was into all that, Charlotte, either. That's cool. That society over there seems quite good, to be honest with you. There you go. Yeah, Charlotte says, yeah, she won in the raffle group. Yeah.
Okay, so you were the raffle then. Okay.
Right. Anyway, I am going to end the stream, guys. I do appreciate everyone who's been in chat. Thank you, everyone who's watched tonight. If you could give the stream a like, that would be much appreciated. If it's something you want to see more of, this type of conversation and stuff with these people, this lovely eclectic bunch of individuals, then just leave a comment and let us know. If there's topics you want us to cover, then put those in the comments as well. If there's questions you've got, send me messages on Instagram or TikTok or in YouTube or in the WhatsApp groups, whatever. Yeah, hopefully we can get some decent discussions going forward and stuff. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been on the screen as well. It's been much appreciated. The stream obviously is not going to work without you lot being there, so thank you,
Thanks for
everyone.
the invite.
Good night, everybody in chat.
Right, so yes, have a good
Bye,
evening,
everyone.
guys, and we will catch up with you next week. See you later, guys.
Night.
Night.